Mighty talking, mighty walking in the streets. New desire, take me higher, lift me higher with your speed. I need fire, get the satellites. You wanna see me talking on the net? I know the way you like it. Get your credit card, 'cause I need no money. All I wanna do is get you, baby. Running in the 90s. Oh, it's a new way I like to be. I'm just running in the 90s. Come on, baby, run to me. We are running in the 90s.
Welcome back to Running in the 90s. Are y'all ready for tonight's episode? I'm honestly so fucking
Yeah.
pumped.
Let's fucking do it.
Let's do this shit. Okay, so I'll be honest with you, no intro. Let's jump right into it.
Okay, so we
Why
talked
the
about
polo?
it. I would like to speedrun sprint and open every door in the warehouse. Aggro
every
anything
door
there.
in the
Then
warehouse.
we says what's going on. Okay.
Okay. So where we I mean, you can do that if you'd like to, but where we last left off, you all had just finished interrogating Paul, who had
Yes.
been escorted by a cleaning robot off to a temporary room that he could stay in near Philip O'Mara, Percy's dad, inside the warehouse. And during the interim time, you all have decided to open the crates that you have had. Side note, Augustin, thank you so much for 20 months of being a sub. You are awesome.
The OG.
20 months!
The
What an
OG.
OG.
The OG!
And also, want to call out, Augustin is one of our VOD boblins. You can go to the YouTube right now and find the entire
They'll
first
find this
season
one.
of Running in the 90s on the YouTube, thanks to the work of our noble and illustrious VOD boblins, also including Michelle. Yeah, on that.
And John.
And John.
Wherever John went.
Yeah, well, John is... I'm not sure he counts. He's more like the VOD Boblin Wrangler. He's on the team, but yeah. But yeah, thanks so much. And continuing on. So, Philip's in his room. You all decided that you were going to crack open the crate that you just got from
Give it to us.
the warehouse. Lance taking the crowbar in his hand like a small dagger and just jamming the entire thing into the side, has proceeded to... And with the sound of splintering wood, you peel the entire top off, revealing inside what look like probably...
Oh my god, the gift subs. You guys.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thunder
much.
from
We
down under.
appreciate you. We appreciate you guys so
Thank
much.
y'all.
It's the Australian team of wonder.
Oops, we did it again.
Hey, Brittany.
And plausible. Hell
Love
yeah.
you guys.
Oh
Hell yeah.
my god.
Oh,
I can't
there
wait
it
for
is.
this.
Plausible. Anyways, yeah, you crack the top off, the wood splintering as you pull all of the packaging, the nails set to keep them safe in packaging out. And what you find inside are about 20 across and 30 long, and probably, you'd guess, 20, 25 deep boxes stacked one on top of another of premium Horizon brand throwback to the 90s style kicks with a Z.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh, the funky fresh music is gone. Womp womp.
Oh, it should be continuing.
Wah, wah.
Yep.
Womp
Funky
womp.
fresh music. What happened?
You're harshing my funky fresh vibe, Steve. How are we supposed to open up
Listen,
these shoes that
here's the
definitely don't
thing.
have anything nefarious in them if we don't have the funky fresh beats?
I clicked on the mix and apparently I missed and just clicked on the individual song.
Oh.
We
And
back.
we have a wonderful
What was that?
Oh yeah.
500.
5 bits. 5
What is this?
hundreds
Whoa.
of.
What
Holy
is
shit.
this
I've never
sound
heard
that
this
came
before.
from- What?
You're welcome. Sorry.
Was that the bits?
What have you
Yeah.
broken?
No,
It's
that
the-
was just me. The bits doesn't work. Sorry, I added a little. It's just from my voice mod.
Okay. All right.
Well
Huge
done.
vibe.
Okay.
Oh my
We're
God.
already in chaos. I thought that I could
Fuck
just descend
just
this
happened?
further.
You know what? Yeah.
There's infinite layers. In the
We were
abyss.
going so smooth all of a sudden, and now never
Yeah.
again.
No, it's fine.
What's
We
in
refuse.
the box?
What's in the box?
All right.
Tell us what's in the bags.
1 second first. Okay. You guys should hear the music again now.
Yeah.
Vibes. So,
I've come up with my best name pun in a while today, so I'm pretty happy.
so you crack open the box and just sort of without thinking, you go and you open the lid of one of these boxes. And inside you find what appear to be a very surprisingly authentic looking set of, or pair of shoes. These particular ones have a sort of lightning bolt design across the side. And it looks like they've been interwoven with little LEDs, but much more importantly, they very clearly have clear rubber soles with LEDs implanted into the bottom, where even as you jostle the box, you see the bottoms of the shoes light up briefly.
Oh my god,
and
they're light up
flash.
sneakers.
Okay.
Merlin wants a pair.
Desperately need a pair.
I love it.
However, what catches your eye almost more than the bottom of the shoes lighting up every time they are jostled is the fact that tucked neatly inside the sole of the shoe, such that just the head is sticking out in the sort of hole where your ankle would go, you see the head of what looks like a pigeon.
Oh
Lance,
no.
you'd be the first one to see this, but really you all can see it.
It looks like a pigeon.
Yeah.
Is that
Oh,
what?
there's a bird.
What?
Should we
Is that
free?
what Mordred
They-
meant when he said birds and shoes on the yacht?
Oh,
I mean,
are these the same shoes? I don't. Did anyone else see the shoes? God, that feels like years ago.
No, it was only a couple weeks ago, but
I know. It's been.
I mean, it's okay if you don't remember, Arthur, because you got like serious brain damage when we were doing that job.
Oh, I hope
so-
not. I need that brain. I use that for most things.
are these the same birds that we saw flitting about during the spring streets drive?
Yeah, and is it the same bird that Winry tried to eat?
That's a
I'm
good
just
question.
gonna. Arthur's
You
just
would be
gonna
able
take
to
the
recognize-
lid of the box and put it right back on the container. Okay. So,
You'd be able to
does
recognize...
anyone have a tarp?
Real quick, you'd be able to recognize Merlin almost as soon as you see it and look a little bit more carefully, that you recognize that aperture-like opening and closing structure that currently is
God.
just sitting dormant on the eye. That reminds you exactly of the bird that you saw when you were
During the
with
streets
Kay,
drive with
that
Winry.
Winry tried to eat.
I thought Winry successfully ate one of them. Am
She
I wrong?
did. She later yacked up. Is Winry a she? No, Winry's a he. That Winry later he yacked up. The
How dare you misgender the wyvern?
robotic inner workings of the bird after consuming
Sounds-
the fleshy outer bits.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh right, because it's like literally fleshy outer. Okay.
Yeah, it's a
Cyborg
cyborg bird, not a
Cyborg
robot.
birds.
All right. This is definitely okay. And I'm gonna take. Everyone, hold on. We're. Dope. Does everyone feel all right? Nothing happened.
What?
I mean,
What's supposed to be happening?
Well, someone has tampered with some birds and shoved them in shoes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes, they have tampered with the birds. They're not just normal birds. As we've seen these before, there's
yeah. Apparently.
yeah, when
I
we tried to
have
eat,
not-
well, successfully ate one.
Have I?
It was sitting on the
I don't think Lance would have. Actually, no, they were like flitting about during the spring street strife. Like there was a bunch of birds everywhere, and then
Those could have just been normal birds.
And then when we went to the New Seattle New Waste Management offices, all the pencil pushers were running around being like pigeons, and you were like, "What about the pigeons?" They're like, "What the fuck do you know about the pigeons?" And then they ran off.
Why is everyone?
I still don't understand what
They can't have
bullets
changed.
with anything.
They can't have swapped all the pigeons. That's too many. That would be insane.
Well, how many shoes are in this box?
Can I look at one of the pigeons?
Yeah, if you want to like open it,
I will.
open the box
I will
back
like.
up and grab it.
I will like slow. I'll like crack open the lid of the box for you to like reach in and grab a pigeon.
You'd have to grab a shoe, but nevertheless, he pulls out a shoe, which immediately lights up in his hand.
How do I turn it off?
As you pull the tongue back of the shoe, with enough force that there's like an odd sort of tearing, ripping sound you all hear, you find inside what feels and looks exactly like a pigeon. It has real feathers on the outside as you like grasp a hold of it and pull it out, and it's sort of just limp in your hand.
Gross.
It looks like a normal pigeon.
But look at the eyes.
Upon further inspection, you definitely would notice, Arthur. In fact, all of you notice this aperture-like structure that can open and close around the eyeballs, which is obvious right now because it's sitting mostly closed in this deactivated state. You also, as Lance like flares out one of the wings, rather than it being silent, you hear that sound of articulating a turned off servo where it sort of goes.
Oh no, I broke its arm.
Oh, gross.
I keep breaking it.
No,
it's making crackling noises.
Arthur will
We
reach
take
out.
that bird to the chiropractor, man.
I can fix the bird, but I don't think it's a normal bird anymore.
Should we keep one of these to inspect?
I
Why
first
would-
need to find out if this bird is being correct. Hold on. And I will reach out my hands to like for the bird that Lance is holding.
Please don't hurt it anymore. We should bury it.
It will suffer no pain. And I take it and I go over and I like walk over to the nearest table and set it on the table.
Why do you think Scratcha wanted these so badly? Or do you think they knew what was inside?
Scratch Gut says that they were items that were to be returned to them, formerly their boxes. I'm not sure how far the validity of that goes, but regardless, I don't know much more beyond that.
Maybe Scratcha just wanted funky fresh kicks.
They don't smell too bad.
Sure. I like those shoes.
Not that kind of funk, Lance.
Oh, my apologies.
I'm gonna try and make a scanning.
Yeah, I was gonna say go ahead and scan the thing.
Yeah, I do.
I believe.
Shall I roll some, like, electronics or something?
This is actually gonna be a Snoop, just a raw Snoop.
Do everybody got alcohols today?
I mean, yeah, I did, but now it's just seltzer.
Oh, I saw Steve hold up like what looks like a hot toddy or something like that, or a cold toddy.
Or is it just tea? Just iced tea.
Maybe. No, it's just iced tea. Though I do have something that may come into play later.
Hold on, almost there. I roll a lot of dice now. But I only got 3 successes.
Jealous now.
3 successes on Snoop. What do I learn from this bird without taking it apart yet?
Let's see. You have 3 successes?
Yeah.
Cool. It's disabled. So, you can't learn nearly as much as you could by turning it on and like actually interacting with it, obviously. what you can do is inspect the hardware, and with your basic snoop, you can start to like, you can basically just copy the firmware. After looking around on it, much to your displeasure, just underneath the tail feathers, you find a port, just a universal data jack that you can plug into.
Great.
Gross.
Normally I would use my universal tentacle adapters to
feels wrong.
literally rig this bird,
Shouldn't.
but I really don't want to.
You're like one of those parasites that goes into a sea cucumber.
Arthur's. You can see Arthur. He's like cringing, like his shoulders are all hunched up. He's like, guys, how badly do we need answers to this bird?
I mean,
Um,
will your
I can-
scientific mind let you even rest if you don't figure this out, Arthur?
Not really, no. But the
This was the last thing Mordred got told you guys to be on the lookout for before he left for Denver.
Mordred warned us about these birds, and now here one shows up in our laps, completely unexpectedly, after Scratchka apparently cares about them, which means that Gwaden's people care about them, and we've been hunted by tons of people, and it seems to have something to do with Penumbra, according to Paul. It seems like everything leads back to these goddamn birds, and everyone look away.
Okay, I'm gonna look away.
And I'm gonna just
Harlan
plug
pulls
right-
out
Look over
herself.
his eyes.
Pulls out her comm link and is just like pulling up Snapchat and is gonna record it.
I'm gonna plug right into its ass, just. And I'm gonna try and rig this bird. I don't know if it can be rigged. It probably doesn't have that advanced of a console on it.
Might just have to buy it dinner first.
Well, yeah, what's the bird's safe word before you rig
As
it?
soon as you plug into it,
It's an apple.
it boosts up, and a few things happen. First, you see like the bird's wings flap out into an open state, and the legs like pop up below it.
It goes coo.
No,
No, go ahead.
but the head pops up, and the little apertures open. Also, the
Okay.
eyes go from that dull, glassy black, almost screen-like initial color to they glow a deep red at the center that's just sort of glowing red and just pulsating like that.
I hate that. I'm
As
gonna
it's in a
hide.
sort of half-sleeping mode.
I'm gonna
Is
hide.
it trying to send any? So as it's starting up, is it trying to send any signals or a phone home?
So you've connected to the literal firmware. You haven't given it any sort of boot up signal yet.
Perfect. Okay.
All you've done
So
is
I'm
literally
gonna-
power up the systems, and this is like the default state of all the mechanical parts.
I'll be like, whoa. And so now, instead of like Arthur, who seems to be like basically knocked out, like hunched on the table with his tentacles just kind of on the bird slash in it, he's gonna
The
kind of
worst.
like, as he begins to gesture, the bird will move instead. So he'll be like, oh, this is very
When you attempt
peculiar.
to say something, because you're in direct control of the hardware, you guys all see the bird's mouth open, and like the head turns with Arthur's voice and just goes, "Oh, this is very peculiar." As like the wings start gesturing.
Throws chair.
Oh,
Just
Oh,
chair
this is a-
splinters across the desk somewhere, like a foot to Arthur's left.
I'll try and like dodge, but with as birds.
Yeah,
so
the
just-
bird like
I'm
flaps
trying
back
to
a little
scare
bit.
the... Who are
Oh
you?
God.
Oh, that's it. I am the pigeon,
Arthur, really?
and I have come to bring you a message, Lance.
In an extremely unnatural
Looks very,
thing for
very unnervingly at Percy.
in an extremely unnatural thing for any pigeon to be able to do, it like folds its wings all the way back behind its back like this and just starts pacing back and forth while it's talking to you.
It can't pace very far. It has a squid attached to it.
Correct,
This
yeah,
is
only,
gonna
like,
go
the- like, the
viral
little-
on TikTok. Really, just
So
Message.
Yes. There is this. Yes, I have a very important message. Yes.
Arthur,
Do I
Is
see
your
the tentacle
information-
attached to the bird?
Yeah, the tentacle is still attached
Yeah,
to the
very
bird.
obviously.
Arthur.
Lance farts in Arthur's face.
He's just watching the bird walk back and forth. He slowly makes his way over. However, Arthur, I want to let you know, as the GM, you'd be aware that even if you did boot up the bird, the entire base is surrounded by a Faraday cage, so any signal that it sent couldn't get out.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So. Right.
The base do be shielded to the nuts.
So Lance is now in front of the bird, right?
Yes, he's like right over you and the bird.
Right. You've been doing an excellent job, helping to keep your team safe since you've been reawoken. And we're counting on you to continue working with them. And also, it's come to our attention that sometimes you're not always operating at your peak performance, because you seem to be concerned with the past. And so this message has come to tell you that the past is not completely gone, but we think that you should invest in the future as well. That was all I was assigned to give.
What the heck?
Take care of yourself.
Looks back at Merlin and Percy.
I don't. I
Who
think.
the fuck does this bird think he is?
I don't know, Arthur. What the heck are you doing? Did
Can I
you
modulate the voice to sound different?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Percy, what do you need? Still coming from the bird.
Okay, did you find out what's going on with this bird? Like, what's up?
All I know is that it has a lot of hardware in it because I've been able to connect to a lot of the sensors, and I could almost rig this bird. It's as if it was designed to be like a mobile, like, surveillance unit or something.
Is it
I have
from
control over
Horizon?
the wings. I don't know. I just have the hardware going right now, and you can see, like, as it's talking, like the bird wing, it's like rubbing, it's going like this
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the feathers as it's talking,
Merlin.
and like going like this as it like rubs its like face, and is like
Yeah.
gesturing a lot. Like I don't know what.
Merlin.
Yeah.
Sorry, Arthur. Do you have any inclination of anything that Horizon might have been into?
I mean,
Some
Horizon
invading
is
people?
into a lot of things. Invading people's privacy is definitely one of them. So I guess you're gonna have to be more specific. Steve, do I know anything about these? I've seen these shoes before.
Yeah, in fact, you're very aware of the shoes. People knew that these shoes were coming for like a year and a half beforehand, and they were heavily advertised in most of Horizon's media. As basically, in 2090, we're doing this big return to the theming of the 90s, and it's part of an entire line of 90s themed clothing and media that's being put out by Horizon for the entire year of 2090. And so these shipments of, like, the shoes were sort of the flagship starting thing, because that was considered to be the most 90s thing.
Got it. So I relay that information to everybody, and then I just go, yeah, I auditioned for that commercial, but I didn't get in because they were only looking for natural hairstyles to make it like more authentic to like the actual 90s or whatever.
Oh, well. Sorry to hear that, Merlin.
It's fine.
Okay,
Well, if
so-
they're not from Horizon, who are they from?
Well, I mean, they are probably from Horizon. They are in the Horizon shoes, but I mean, somebody else could have made them for Horizon.
Can I find any? So I'm gonna look around the firmware. Can I
Oh, wait.
tell what?
Wait,
Yeah.
we already know where these came from because in the first episode, Mordred did this information already. He learned that they're from Ares.
Did he?
Yeah.
I thought he said that they were like, I thought he put a tracker on it and found that they were from the oil rig.
Well, no, but the very first thing he did, like in episode 1 when we found the shoes, was he found like some sort of like brand on the birds or something, or like some sort of tag like that indicated they were Ares.
What he did was
Does anybody remember that?
What he did was he determined that the technology that was being used to create them was a conglomeration of Miltech, and most of that Miltech was Ares designed.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I mean, he would know, so.
So Ares was sending Horizon spy birds in shoes.
Or.
Well, that would explain why we were sent to get some shoes, which seems like a pretty stupid mission, honestly.
Or Ares sent Horizon Miltech stuff, and then Horizon put them in the shoes to send to somebody else.
This be true, yeah. Well, they need to distribute them around somehow, quietly. In order to. How many shoes were in that truck? Steve, I'd like to do a quick size the box, size the crate. I want to figure out how many shoes were roughly in that truck.
Cool.
Assuming they all had birds.
Yep.
Because we opened a different box. This box looks like it hadn't been opened, right?
Yeah, this crate looks like it hasn't been opened. It's like it's been shipped.
So assuming, well, I want to see how many birds they could have sent.
Give me 2 seconds.
I could actually do this math, but it would take a hot moment.
A bit of time.
It would take about 5 minutes. Because I'd need the volume. I'd have to look at the volume of the container, and then figure out the volume of each of these crates.
The look
and
on
then
Case's face.
I was just like,
You do your own thing. I'm doing this math for you. I'm converting cubic feet to cubic meters and figuring out the
Cool.
boxes.
Well, while
and
that
I'll
happens,
let you know.
all right.
So-
So,
It's not just one corp that's sending these?
I don't know. I could start up the software and see what it's designed to do. Right now, it looks like it's a surveillance device. I have really nice cameras for the size of the, and you can see it like slowly like blink awkwardly,
Ugh.
or then like one eye at a time to try it out. I have really good vision from this actually, although the sides, looking out to the sides is really weird. Kind of, it's very disorienting a little bit.
Oh, don't just thrash your head about. You're gonna make yourself sick.
Actually, that might be. Hold on. You see, it's like it tucks its head down under its wing. Okay. So, anyways, I could start up the software, see what it's designed to do. Are there any weapons on this bird, Steve? I have wings, I have feet, I have eyes, I have clearly a speaker for some reason.
Which is inside the beak, so that it can still make sounds, because it no longer has lungs.
Oh.
Oh God.
What do you have? You have pretty strong articulating. Yeah, you have feet, wings.
there's no like knife. There's
Two
no like.
really nice ocular sensors. You have.
Do they go outside visual? Like the normal visual range?
Yeah, they hit IR and also a bit of UV.
Okay, but not any radio or anything like that.
You also have a literal short-range radar, and
Oh,
you
God.
have a sonar system. You also have a
Oh.
pretty nice mic.
Well, it looks like I could listen to whatever's going on really effectively. Like, this is an excellent surveillance drone. One of the better ones I've ever seen, actually. In fact, this is better than what we had going around the base out
So-
west.
Why would Ares Macrotech and Horizon want surveillance drones for?
Well, it's not just Horizon and Ares. This was going to the Penumbra warehouse, according to Paul, which is.
So what does Penumbra want them for? I guess Ares and Horizon are just doing this
Sorry.
to make money,
Yeah.
but they could be selling it to Penumbra for a reason, and then
Yeah.
Penumbra could be using it for
And
something.
Penumbra has ties to both Saterkrupp and Rinraku,
It's-
apparently.
It's weird that they chose pigeons. Any one of the corpse of that size ought to have
Was this
cool. Do you have any seed on you?
You're not an actual bird, Arthur.
I know, but
I don't think that bird
Peckish.
has a stomach anymore.
I don't. I could maybe
Oddly,
just plug me in to
Oddly,
power.
Oddly, one of the firmware tasks is this like continual sort of sub-process that's like find something to eat, peck the ground every so often, make a sound. Like it's a randomly assigned like a set of events.
I feel really compelled to.
where was
somewhat
this issue to go to?
The Penumbra warehouse on 3rd, I believe, because Paul tracked the shipments. He tracked the shipments from this Penumbra warehouse. I guess the guy named Bernard was doing all the driving, and he followed this guy in his route and found this warehouse that they were shipping
Maybe-
stuff from to the Penumbra warehouse.
Maybe we should check out the warehouse next. Or
Ooh,
See what else is
speaking
there.
of warehouse, I actually have like a warehouse errand to run super
Like-
quick.
Like mine?
Yeah, yours. So I did some thinking while I was like zoning off into space and having like an existential crisis last episode for like, I don't know, the last 45 minutes.
Yeah, you did kind of space out there for a bit.
Yeah, and I had a thought while I was doing that. So that creepy thingy that like ate Arthur's essence, but then we gave it back. It's fine. Wait, no, it was Gwen's. I fed Gwen's essence to it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
what?
I am now worried about it.
No. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. So like,
It's
there's this
Gwen.
like, oh, Gwen's fine. Gwen's fine. I mean, he's got his astral essence has something weird going on, but like, it wasn't my fault. It was already like that. Anyway, so I was thinking that we could just like take a quick detour to like the spooky altar thing, and then I could like, I don't know, figure out some stuff. I hope I don't think I have to like sacrifice anything to it. I think it's like altering just like the structural sense, not like the literal sense. But yeah. I mean, you guys can come with me if you want, but
Do we want to?
Oh, we should.
You
Right.
hear a
sacrifice
repeated
just in
light
case.
clanging as Arthur's just pecking the metal table he's on.
Should we deal with this bird first and what we're gonna do with this? And then go after.
well, yeah.
Um,
I mean, I just want to do it before we go anywhere, like physically.
it's-
like if we're gonna go like run an
like
errand.
nighttime.
Oh, it's nighttime.
And we just got back from running that job for Scratcha. I think we all need a nap, but
Well, while you guys are taking a nap, I'll run my warehouse errand, I guess.
I mean, okay. I can take you there, but
I was also planning to
Friendship.
sell some of those chemicals to round out our money situation at some point.
right. I mean, okay. But one thing at a time. We need to. What are we gonna do with these boxes and these birds? Doesn't Scratcha want this from us? Like we haven't delivered the goods yet.
Well, yes, we should actually.
Did they know
check
the birds
to
are in
see
there?
what's in the other, probably.
I would like to keep several of these birds. They're excellent reconnaissance drones. Probably the best I've ever seen. At least one for steady.
I feel like we could probably get away with.
I'm also
stealing
getting
one.
kind of fond of being this bird.
Lance
Sounds.
goes over and unplugs Martha.
Good.
I'll take some dump shock from getting
Oh,
some.
I forgot that Lance has no dump shackles.
It's
So
like fucking what? Dumb
we
shit.
have a lot of
Who's she?
we have a lot of stuff that we need to, because like
Okay.
not only do we have the bird, we also
Just
have
one. It's just one.
Yeah, we
I'm
have.
so sorry.
Biofeedback.
Not only do we have the bird, but we also have the blue liquid that we stole from Martha Giftmiss's place, and whatever the repliquid that we got from that's in the Seder Cup barrels.
Well, let's go get some more
Wait,
information.
did we look through all of those barrels?
Yeah,
We
because there's
should
the
open everything up.
because there's the Seder Cup barrels, and then there's also the computer parts from Renraku. So, like, I don't know what's going on, but maybe they're all either, I don't know if they're related, but we've got a lot of things all at once.
Maybe one of you could look at the pieces of the computer and assess if there's any
I mean,
stuff on it. I don't know if that's how that works.
I feel like maybe we can just get the stuff and divide and conquer. Maybe Arthur can start running research on the Renraku bits and the repliquid and the birds, and maybe the blue liquid. That's not the same as the repliquid.
The blue liquid would be almost impossible for me to study. I do understand chemistry quite well, but it's advanced. It is also very biologic, and I have some familiarity with biotech. It is something I'm familiar with, but for the chemical aspect, I probably want to talk to an expert.
Okay.
Which I do know of one, especially for these sort of more fruity, dangerous compounds. That I could probably get some help with, but we probably need to prioritize getting the equipment that doesn't belong to us out of our hands soon. Do we know if Scratchka Lance expected the birds to be in this box?
They only told us that it was these items or these boxes. There was specifically these labeled boxes that were owned to them. I could probably find out.
Well, I would like to keep at least one bird, and I would rather have like 5. I would use these. In fact, considering that how effective they are and how I'm able to probably reprogram them, they could probably blend in and allow us to spy on the people who are spying. That would be very effective. They would not see that coming, actually, considering they think the birds are on their side. It's a real opportunity, but I don't want to screw over people we promised to deliver to.
I have an
Not
answer for you.
necessarily.
Roughly 7,056 boxes, which is roughly 14,117 birds.
It looks like there's well over a baker's dozen in here. I think you can take 5.
All right,
without
yeah, that'd be
much
good. We'll see if I can get any of them back in working order. So I'll take out 5 birds, and take 4, and I'm gonna wrap them. I'll get some like paper towels and wrap them real tight so that like they can't see or move, and store those back in my workshop. And then the one bird that I was plugged into, I'm gonna check out the software on this thing.
Okay.
Next time, actually, and I just take the bird and I shove it in my coat pocket.
Amazing.
Where y'all going?
So if you want to start doing your research, I can take Merlin to the warehouse real quick to do her thing.
Yeah, check out the essence.
Yeah. Merlin, do you need a chaperone, or do you think you can
I
handle
mean,
this?
I don't need a chaperone. I mean, company is always appreciated, Percy.
All right,
so
you'd like
hey
to do-
guys, I'm not feeling super great. I think I might just go hang out with Dev, see how she's doing, and for today,
Okay,
since it's
that's
Yeah.
fine.
kind of a slower day.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
If we need
Right.
you, I'll send you a message.
Yeah, no, I'm always listen. If you need anything, you just call, and I'm right here. I'll have my con link with me. I'll be ready to go.
All right,
Of course. Yes.
let's crack open those other boxes, and then
Yeah,
Marlene
can-
can go check out her thing, and then we'll maybe follow up on one of these leads.
Do
we want
research.
to? Yeah.
I can drop off Merlin in the warehouse and pick up the stuff and come back. So Merlin
Sure.
can go and do her thing. I can grab those things for you so that you can gather them for your research. But I don't really think you need me to help with the research, do you?
Into the bird? Or the chemicals?
This is kind of outside my area of expertise, so I'm kind of just...
Okay, so here's the thing. I can start up this bird, do that anytime before I go to sleep. I'll give it an investigation. I'll take a sprite with me. We'll investigate the software, pull it apart. Not gonna be hard. The chemicals of the blue liquid. Where was this blue liquid? From the
So
Christmas
not only
place?
we saw it at the Christmas place, but it was also on the Delilah, because it was sticking out of one of the servers' necks, and I guess the schmarmy guy that Merlin was dancing with also had a vial.
He had
of
some
it.
in his pocket. It was very weird.
Why did he have
Okay.
that?
So
I don't
that
know.
just sounds like some sort of neural interface nonsense.
Right.
Steve, I have a
maybe.
6 and I forgot. I have a 6 in biotechnology.
Yeah.
Because of course I do.
Yeah.
So what is this blue liquid? Shall I roll
Cool.
or do I
you
just
haven't
know?
cracked it open yet?
Yeah, Merlin goes with Percy to drop off Merlin, and then
Okay.
Percy
Get
goes
the
back
rest of
with
the stuff.
items. Yeah,
Cool.
we open said
Lance.
items.
Lance, are you going with Team Warehouse or with Arthur?
Arthur's not going anywhere. He's waiting for the stuff to get back and he's investigating the bird. Or he will.
Lance doesn't know how to research things
Cool.
yet, besides just like asking the computer, and he's learned that asking the computer gets him in trouble. So
So you want to go with Merlin?
He's going to go with Merlin. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes! Let's go, Lance!
All right. I'll drop them off and then grab the rest of the shit and come back to Arthur.
Cool, but
I'm gonna.
I will take the Pez dispenser she went inside with me to the lab so that she comes back out there.
so real quick before we jump to the warehouse, Arthur, go ahead and give me. I assume you're gonna boot up the drone and start working with it.
So once I get into my lab, so it can be like in a more controlled environment, I'm gonna like set it up on a thing. I'm gonna get like the things down to like splay out the wings,
Yeah.
right? And like have it all set up on like, I don't know, something that's as spooky as it is
Make
pragmatic.
It scientific. Yeah.
I don't know. Have you ever seen those things with the guy who's like in the ring,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
The like form of man, Da Vinci
Yeah.
thing, I think
Uh-huh.
it is. That, but with the bird.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna need you to go ahead and tell me how many marks you're gonna throw on this bitch.
3, all of them.
Cool. I assume you're just gonna puppeteer to turn it on.
So what I'm gonna actually do is get Excalibur and allow Excalibur to be an interface between me and so plug into Excalibur and then Excalibur as like a bunch of devices to like connect to the bird.
Mm-hmm.
So that I can still be an AR and have access to my tools, but also be fully connected to the bird as well. So
Oh,
instead
yeah.
of a full rig, it's like
Cool.
half
We'll return
connected.
to you doing that then as you boot up and plug into the bird.
I'm also calling my Yog Sothoth to help. Actually, I'll call Narlotep. I want to be sneaky.
Was that you, Case, making spooky noises? Who was that?
Who knows? It is unknowable. That was
Excuse me?
That was me.
Oh my god, was that Belmont?
That was a boss laugh. That was like a 8-bit boss laugh.
Okay.
Okay. Is that good? Is that everything?
I'll
you...
roll. Yeah, I'm summoning
Cool,
him.
we will return
I'll
to you
roll
then.
some like, I'll roll some software checks or something in the meantime, if that would
Cool.
be good, or tasking.
We will return
I'll
to
throw
you in a
some
bit
checks in
then.
there to give you results.
meets Twile.
Love.
Meat space while.
Actually, Astral Space While.
Astral
Listen.
space.
The rest of you stepping together, you finally started to get comfortable with this. As like you all just sort of link arms with Percy, and
Going, we're off to see the wizard.
like
Apple.
and like first Merlin just yoinks all your souls forward together, and then like as your souls are falling backward, Percy takes all of them at once forward into the warehouse. And it's this odd sort of like delayed thing where it's like souls, then bodies, and then you arrive at the warehouse as souls and then bodies. And as that, you just.
Amazing.
It always tastes like copper when we do that.
That's okay. Not supposed to happen, but
Oh, oops. Might be the
So-
water. Anyway,
So this way. So basically, I was like in here doing all this research, and like the whole time I was here, there's like this really spooky door, and like I didn't want to go through the spooky door, but like I was thinking about it, and I recalled like when I was like perceiving astrally that I saw like this green light on the other side of the door, and you know I was thinking I was getting like kind of literary with it, and I'm like, you know, I read The Great Gatsby once, and they were like really into that green light or whatever, and so I saw a green light on the other side of the door, and I was like, you know what? I'm a big fan of like the literary arts. Like F. Scott Fitzgerald is my jam. Like, so we gotta go, right?
I would be wary
failed
of green
college
lights.
lit. Oh wait, I didn't even go to college. No, I don't understand.
Oh,
Green
okay.
lights
Well,
have
it's
always
fine.
been
It's-
for me.
I mean, it's just a literary device that is like, it just represents like longing for like the American dream and things that we can't have. It's fine. It's fine. We're just gonna
What's
go.
America?
UCAS.
You can't. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I'm tracking.
Normally, green lights have to do something with going to and fro death. But I mean, we can surely try.
Well,
just
I think
we'll take our time.
I feel like you've been spending too much time in the library, Merlin. You're getting a little I don't know.
Well, okay. Well, I also found, like, speaking of literary and books, I also found like this like tome, like this book, and I was like reading through it, and it's like really, really fucking older than The Great Gatsby, and I saw that it was like had stuff to do with like reshaping your soul and like the weird altar thing, like it literally like pulls your like essence out of your body so that you can like do stuff to it. And so I think that if we go in there and we put our or I put my soul energy into this altar thing, it'll bloop out, and then I can fix it so that my magic will work the way that it used to before Oberon ate it.
That is so interesting. I'm going to take these boxes back to Arthur, but you have fun with that.
So Lance, yeah, you want to help me, you know, potentially remove my soul from my body and then fix it and then put it back?
Sure.
Cool.
All right, you just give me a signal in astral when you're ready to come out, I guess.
Hey, I'll make it a green light.
I'm just gonna take the Red Raku and Zeta Crab shit out, back out.
The two of you make your way into the library once again, where that odd sort of... Ooh. Weird echo.
We're good.
Okay. Where that odd sort of spaceless sound again settles over you. That odd way that time is stopped just enough that it feels as though every time you move through the space, you're the only thing in that and anywhere around you in that environment that is moving. You walk through, and where are you going first, Merlin?
I'm gonna go to the spooky door first.
Okay, cool.
Since we're really going with the Great Gatsby vibes today.
Cool. So as you make your way in, you've sort of dwelled in this space a bit longer now, and the confidence of Merlin in this space, you can see that she's just sort of radiating a little bit of astral energy around her as she walks. And actually, much to your, though it seems slightly familiar, you feel like you've always been very unnerved by the fact that as Merlin walks along through the corridors of books, you just see these eyeballs open up on the spines of the books as she walks by and then close again.
So good.
Until eventually you round one of the corners and you wind up at this. There's sort of 3 doors next to each other. All of them seem to be locked. But one of them in particular, Merlin was right, has this odd sort of green light just emanating from behind it.
So that's the American dream right there, Arthur. I mean, Lance.
Right. The American dream. Is there any old script written around here anywhere that might denote what this is?
Go ahead and give me a... so I will say, in terms of script, there are 3 places you see script here. You see a little bit of script over the door. There's a stone sort of plate to the right of the door on the wall that has some script on it. And there's also script on a sign nearby. And that it's the script is in the same place on each of these doors. If you give me a... At this point, you've remembered how to read this script for the most part. Actually...
Uh-oh. You cut out. Can you say that again?
Hello? I was going to say,
Yeah,
at
you're
this
good.
point, I feel like you're getting better at figuring out how to read and decipher this script. So you can give me either memory or logic or arcana.
Oh, Lance, go.
That's a glitch.
LOL. Yeah, so over the door, you're pretty sure that this says, like, you're pretty sure this says, like, cooking room. To the right of the door, it definitely says, sacrifice your name to enter. And, sacrifice your name to... Yeah, sacrifice your name to make an entry. And on the sign, it says, private brooding quarters.
Let's go to
Let's
the
reach that
private
out.
brooding quarters.
So
Brooding quarters seems to be something that Merlin would have done. Maybe we'll find our answer in there to allow us to better be prepared for what might be behind. What was the first door?
So all of that text, one text is across the top of the door. One text is on the plate to the right of the door. And the other text is on a little sign nearby that looks like it's a sort of a directory post that's pointing at the door. So all of these are about the same door.
Okay,
This is
okay.
in mixed messages.
so
So,
is it locked?
Are you going to try and open it?
Yeah.
So you put your hand on it to try and open it. And as you turn the handle turns, but it doesn't seem to sort of find any purchase as you push it forward. And you see these lines appear across the door in a pattern, which come to a circle at the center, which flashes a red rune, similar to the ones you saw on the doors outside when you first were interacting with them.
Is this my rune?
So all of the doors, when they flashed red, had always been flashing that sort of augmented Arthur rune. And it's the same here, where it's that just sort of access denied, you didn't do the right thing symbol.
Open sesame.
Nothing. You would remember that the way...
With sesame.
Oh, the way I opened the door into the actual... in here.
Yeah.
Oh, duh. I'm going to trace my rune.
Yeah, so you trace your rune. And...
Duh.
Into the private brooding quarters we go.
Brooding quarters.
It's probably like a study hall room, to be fair, or like a private study. Oh, Jesus.
You hear this odd sort of sound thrumming, and the door flashes green, but then flashes blue, and more lines appear as though sealing it. And you hear this odd sort of swirling sound to your left, and then from that circle, at the center of the door, you see this light blue, what to you looks almost like a hologram, come out of the door.
Lance puts a hand in front of Merlin.
Okay.
What is the hologram?
It comes out horns first,
Oh!
and then the top of the well-coiffed jet black hair, and then the long sort of angular face of the tiefling you recognize from
It's
the
Merlin.
painting.
Holy shit.
Oh, hey, it's that guy.
Oh, it's that guy.
And as he comes out, you hear him say,
Boy smart, boy smart.
mayhaps, no comment. So, as he comes out and sort of stretches, and you actually audibly hear him as he like twists his head, his neck crack in both directions.
Oh.
And he goes, "My God, it took you a long time." So, Merlin. Oh, fuck. Why are you never alone? It seems ever since you've gotten entry, you always have someone with you. And of all people, you've chosen to bring the oath.
Okay, first off, rude.
Lance
Lance
goes to touch.
Lance is very intelligent. He's emotionally intelligent. Right, Lance?
Is he can I touch him?
As you push your finger sort of through his forehead, it makes this ripple, like if you pushed your finger into water, and it's like a slightly tingly cold feeling on your finger.
And besides, if you wanted to be alone, you just could have asked.
Lance, go ahead and give me a memory test.
So sorry.
Melon, you
hell
can't
yeah.
be saying that kind of stuff
4
anymore.
hits.
Merlin can.
Cool.
4 hits.
Cool, noted. He looks you dead in the eyes, Merlin, even with this finger sort of through his forehead. And he says, "Well, Merlin, though I hesitate to call you that, not much of a fitting replacement without the Dark Lord with you now, are you? Still, though, I
The
can tell
Dark
by
Lord.
the fact that you've gotten in here that you managed to find him somewhere. His stink is all over you.
Okay, so I'm getting like mixed signals. Like you say Dark Lord, like that's something I'm supposed to have, and then you call him stinky. So like what's the deal?
Power is rarely pleasant. Come. And he sort of shakes and like manages to free himself more from the door as almost half of his torso comes out.
Oh Jesus, okay. We're all right, we're walking. Cool. Sure.
I can see that you have made yourself at home in my tower.
I mean, you weren't using it, so
And I can also
Are they
see...
like walking along?
So literally he like pops out and sort of like points in a direction, and as Merlin turns and starts to walk that direction, he just fades back into the door and then sprouts again from the side of one of the bookshelves out to sort of his torso again further along.
Lance is dumbfounded and yells out, "Merlin!"
I turn around too.
He looks at you as well. They both look at you. And with your memory test, you immediately remember. What was your roll again?
4 hits.
4 hits. That's good as fuck. Yeah, so this is Merlin. This is the Merlin of your time. This is the one with whom you quarreled very often. The one that some of the other Knights of the Round Table referred to as the consort or child of the demon. He had been incredibly powerful as a wizard. And it was rumored that much of that power came from this demon that was either some sort of part of him, or maybe that he had some sort of a deal with, or maybe that was in charge of him, but he was looked on with an extreme amount of skepticism. Nevertheless, Arthur made him an official part of the court, and he was one of Arthur's closest advisors. This was surprising, though, especially given the tension which he often seemed to have with Arthur, as they had very different leadership styles. Merlin was much more in the stance of, we have the power to bend the world to our will and change it to what we want to be, and therefore we ought to be in charge of everything. Whereas Arthur was much more of along the stance of, our job is to be the most noble knights and to uphold this sort of code of honor and chivalry that he had constructed over time. And it was much more important to Arthur to uphold that code of chivalry and to see himself as a sort of, to see his knights mainly as the true force of Arthur was his leadership of the knights. But to see his knights as a sort of force for defense and of morality more than an actual government or ruling group. And there was always a lot of tension there.
I step like heavily towards him, and Lance's like breath kind of like shaking, points at at Merlin and says, I was not forced to travel time and generation for you to ignore me.
Let's go, Lance.
You're pointing at the specter, I
The
assume?
vision of
Cool.
of Merlin.
Cool.
And say, when are you? Where are you? How are you here? How am I here?
Ever the questions, and yet never the smarts to answer them, I see still in the modern day.
I kick over his bookcase.
Oh no!
As the bookcase crashes over and he's still just like coming out of it, he says, "Ah, and here we see the violence once again, which shall be the solutions of all problems, shan't it? I'm sure that you can go and I'm sure that you can go and talk with Arthur, and the two of you can come up with some way that nobility shall triumph over the questions of the universe."
Are you happy with where we've gotten ourselves this far?
I'll be honest, Lance. I'll be honest, Lancelot. Just about everything thus far is going according to my plan, though I had not expected the new Merlin to be so brash. Listen here, and he disappears and he appears again right next to you. You must never open that door. I have sealed what is behind it away for a careful reason. One that will be to the glory and benefit of you and I.
And for what words do I have to trust these words?
He looks back toward you with a sort of half sneer. I have no need of you to trust me, Lancelot of the Pines.
I wave my hand through him.
He sort of like, there's a warble, and he like fades slightly and appears from the other side.
Boys, are you quite finished?
I think we might have need for each other.
Believe me, I have set things in motion that will make sure that I need no more from you and your ilk again. I can only hope that you have not stained the new generation by the reawakening of such piteous and wastrel time-spending activities as the author of old had under his belt.
Ilk, you were there on the steps taking the throne and taking the commandments alongside with me. You signed your name in the book. Your duties are those as mine.
Are they, though? Where is Arthur now? Where is his court?
I pull out my phone and I switch to Arthur. And I say, he also has transcended generation.
He looks quizzically. And he says, "Perhaps we have less time than I thought then. Merlin, I see you have let Oberon take from you already."
And he was kind of a little bitch about it, so we had to take a break so that we could, like, discover ourselves as individuals.
I'm disappointed. You must not let him be free like that. On his own, he is quite clever. Not as clever as I. And hopefully not as clever as you, though I suppose that remains to be seen, as of yet.
Well,
but you must remember... Go. I'm sorry. I apologize. I do not mean to be rude.
Oh.
I've simply been waiting so long.
You wouldn't mean to be rude? Okay.
I fucking hate this guy. What the fuck?
I just
really
look at
hoping
Merlin,
I was gonna like him.
and I'm like, I just kind of go like this. I'm like, okay, so first off, you must have left your manners in like the 16th century. So let's try this again. Take it back a couple of steps. I'm gonna need you to tone down like the condescending, like 5 or 6 notches. Because like I've dated like actors and I've dated like lawyers and stuff, and none of them have been as douchey as you. So like you're like really setting the tone. And like I totally like was super excited when I saw your picture, and like I totally want to be your friend and like work this out, but like we gotta dial this back a little bit. Welcome to 2090.
I think I am understanding the majority of what you are saying. I'm not familiar with this like yet that you use. I don't know what the like is being used for in the sentences, but nevertheless, I do not mean to speak down to you, Merlin. You are but a fledgling yet of what you could be, and we must work quickly if we are to overcome.
Well, we appreciate constructive criticism in this house. So, just wanted to like lay out those boundaries first so that we can like start from on like a good foundation, ground up. Yeah, so perfect. Now what were you going to say?
What I was going to say.
Can I sense motive for
absolutely.
on Tiefling Merlin to be
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Please do.
Whenever he's talking to Merlin, does he seem like he's very like what's the word when you're
Manipulating, gaslighting,
Placating.
not when you like teach a younger person like how to act like you want them to act.
Yeah, mentor sort of vibes.
Or not, or like, but manipulating, like having a.
Are you referring to the word? Are you referring to a word that
grooming.
starts? Yeah.
Grooming.
Does he look like he's grooming, trying to like groom Merlin?
Yeah, go ahead and roll that.
3 hits.
3 hits. Okay, so there are 3 things you can tell instantly. Getting a 1 would have let you know he's ignoring the fuck out of you. He is like aggressively trying to sort of pull Merlin away from you and anything you're saying or thinking. Sort of like picture the vibe of like, oh no, honey, we don't talk to that kid. Is the kind of vibe that's going on there.
So sketchy.
The second thing that you're getting is absolutely this like intense sort of, he has a lot riding on Merlin, whatever it is, but he's thrilled, which you rarely ever saw Merlin excited about anything, really. It seemed he was very calm and collected and calculated, but he seems excited. And the third thing is, because you got a 3, absolutely this sort of grooming vibe, where it's like he wants Merlin to be something, and he's trying to quickly move her in a direction.
Lance pulls out. Lance puts his visor down and presses the record button.
Okay, yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
So now that we're starting our relationship off on a better foot, what's behind the door?
There's so much of complexity in magic yet, Merlin, that I do not know if you know. It's a complex thing that may be the hardest thing here for you to understand.
Okay,
Before
I
we
mean,
get
I've
there-
played TTRPGs, so like, you can postulate, it's fine. Go ahead.
The first thing you must know is that if you are going to keep the demon on a chain, you must be aware that where you bind him, he also binds you. He's strong.
Well, it's a good thing I'm not keeping him on a chain. He's gonna come crawling back to me eventually.
I tell you, the longer he is on his own, the longer he has to set his pawns against you. The life of the Merlin is a game, and he sort of gestures you along. And as you get toward the altar again, off to the side of the altar, you see a sort of half-round window with all of the shades drawn. And in front of it, there is a small chessboard. He floats over and just sort of appears out of the chair on one of the sides. The life of the Merlin is a game of chess, constant and ever-changing. The goal of the game is not to win and not to lose. It is to continue the game and never to let him win. You see, and he sort of looks to the left and the right, Oberon is extremely powerful, and he can make you powerful. But that is not what he wants. He wants to be powerful himself.
hear what you're saying. Go on.
He sort of gestures for you to sit down on the other side of the table across from him.
I'm like, can I look at this chair? What the fuck is
Yeah.
going on with this chessboard? Is this a
Just a
sus
reg-
chessboard?
You can make a perception check.
Insight.
Can I insight check this chessboard?
Lance, what are you doing?
Lance is about 10 feet away from them, watching them, listening.
I rolled
Okay.
4 6s.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely an extremely regular chessboard.
Damn it! I just
You've
wasted
never-
that roll.
You've
This
never been
chessboard.
more certain that this is just a chessboard in your entire life. Like, most of
Love
the things
that.
in here are sort of like, just bound to certain amounts of astral essences. This chessboard has absorbed nothing. This is just a chessboard.
All right, I
It's
plop down in front of the
aggressively mundane.
chessboard. I plop down in front of the aggressively mundane chessboard, and I go,
But underneath
really
the
more-
chessboard, the table.
Hold all the answers.
I'm really more of a checkers gal myself, but okay.
More of a Rocket
Damn
League kind of.
Wanna
Data
play some
3.
Fortnite?
Wanna play some Data 3?
He immediately frowns intensely.
Good.
Good.
You haven't been able to cast your magic properly ever since you interacted with him. Is that right?
Well, yeah, I mean, we had to have a serious conversation about boundaries because he totally stole some of my astral essence or whatever, and I was like, bro, dick move. You can't just slurp people's souls out of their bodies without asking. Like, consent is key.
Sorry, I broke Steve. I gave him a second task accidentally by mentioning the music. He's
This is way too. It's alright. It gives me
Let's-
time to make more dumb jokes.
Let's text to Merlin. I don't think he knows what consent is. I don't think Merlin.
I
knows.
text him back. I'm like, bitch, I don't even think this guy knows what women's rights are.
Oh no, for sure does
I
not.
think he's very equal opportunity in how he doesn't want to give anyone rights. That's the vibe I get.
Equal opportunity asshole.
As he
Not me
frowns,
wanting to burn all these books.
He steeples his fingers.
Oh no. Only assholes steeple their fingers. Hey, thanks for the sub, Forgotten Sage Dex.
Hey,
Hey, thank you.
there is a gaping hole in your astral form. I expect that by now you have gone far enough in your studies of the arcane that you have realized that each astral form has a shape, and much like the DNA of an individual person, that astral essence knows what shape it should be. Furthermore, when it is consumed, it returns to the shape that it should be, its density and its power returning with the rising and setting of the sun.
While he's talking, I send a text to Lance that says, his astral form is the shape of a, and then I send an eggplant emoji.
So why do you
Eggplant,
suppose it is that yours has not returned?
This is the shape of an eggplant. Is this a purple? I don't. What is this?
Lance brings his thing down. This is an eggplant, and
It's like hashtag farmer memes.
Yeah.
He's like, I like farm jokes. Yes.
I'm sorry, but I don't say anything. I'm just listening. I just have my phone under the table like I'm a fucking high schooler, and I just texting. didn't see
So he reaches
nonsense.
this point where he goes, "Why do you suppose it is that your astral form has not returned to the way that it was?"
Probably because Spooky Bitch McGee took some of it with him when he left.
But if you cast a spell and your astral essence is partially depleted, if you were to have part of it blasted away by the astral attack of another wizard, it would return in time, would it not? And yet here it hasn't. It's because Oberon is a being from the astral space. The reason he makes contracts with us Merlins is because it gives him the ability to affect the tangible world, that which he most covets and desires to rule over. When Oberon takes someone's essence, he casts a spell with his very form, which innately seals away the part he has taken from the part that remains. And the part that he has taken remains in its shape and continues to regrow just as it would when it was attached to you. Thus he can use the part of your essence that he has taken like a battery to cast his own spells, just as though he had taken a very part of your own spell casting ability with him. In short,
So what part of you did you give away?
and he holds up his hand, and you see that in astral space, just his pinky finger is missing.
Nice.
A fully fledged Merlin must not give much to receive a great amount in return. If you keep the chains tight, and if you are smart enough to play the game, he says, as he moves one of the pieces forward, it will not be him taking power from you, but you conquering the world with him as your gracious and unwilling benefactor. That is, if you can avoid getting trapped in other unfortunate entanglements, he says, as you can see him give this sort of sidelong glance over to where Lance is standing.
So all that is very helpful and interesting, but it is also a very nice deflection on what's behind that door.
A relationship must go both ways. I swear that I will tell you in time, and for now what I can give you is the restoration of your astral form. Though once we break the binding he has put upon your astral self, you will have no connection to him, and I would encourage that you find him quickly before he runs amok on his own, or worse, finds another Merlin to do his bidding.
Another one.
A text from Lance that says, "We don't need him to fix your astral form. I have someone that can help."
Another one?
Surely you don't think you're that special. A Merlin is just a individual with this particular set of talents for the channeling and moving of astral energies, the manipulation of the astral form, and anyone with the capability can suit Oberon's purposes. You're just the first one he managed to find in this age, I suppose.
Well, I found him, but yeah, besides the point.
No, he found you, and I had hoped that he never would. But nevertheless, if he is not, in fact, dead in the ground, bound to my immortal body forever, then someone must deal with it.
Run that back real quick.
Come, I do not have much longer. I will need to recharge what little astral essence I have before we can speak again.
Not
So,
in the ground, bound to my immortal body.
Where's the
Yeah,
line?
yo,
Immortal
bro.
body. Hey,
Let's
yo.
roll that back again. Did you just say that you're immortal?
I haven't much time. We must
Well,
return to the
well,
altar.
Apparently you have a lot!
Oh.
I mean,
Come quickly if you wish to be whole again.
Yeah, all right, fine.
Melanie.
I follow him, but his body's totally behind that door. Anyway.
Brings you back over to
Michelle,
the
what is
altar.
it?
Wait, are you going back to the door? Wait,
No,
wait.
he's bringing her over to the altar. The magical altar that sucks astral essence.
I don't think you should do this.
Well, just ask my best friend. I make a lot of questionable decisions when it comes to men.
We can literally go across the hallway and I can get you someone else who can help you that is not going to bind you to some other contract.
Once you learn to use the altar, Merlin, you will be able to shape souls to your will. You can use them in your spells, and you can begin to discover the third form of magic, which Oberon
Is
and
being an
I,
apathetic asshole.
and the Merlin before I created. You must take your place as the new head of the Rune Rites.
The what?
The Rune Rites. Again, I haven't the time.
Alright.
Does Lance know what the rune rights are?
Yeah,
Go ahead
sure.
and roll a memory check.
Not my memory. Fuck.
Arthur was
4
trying
hits.
to-
Again, yes!
Holy shit.
5.
Um,
Out of 5 dice. 5, 6,
So
6,
there
5,
was-
4.
There were sort of rogue wizards that did their own damn thing. But there was an order called the Rune Rites that learned how to encapsulate magic in runes, or at least they were rumored to have been the ones who invented it, to create a way for magic to sort of not just be something that you could cast instantaneously, but that could linger and do its own things. And there was a very, very strict order, almost some would say a cult, called the Rune Rites, that did a lot of the development of new magic and new runes and things like that. And the head of that order had a title, and that title is where the name Merlin came from, is it was literally the title of the person in charge.
Okay, Dresden Files.
You want
So,
to revive the rune rights.
The Rune Rites
What-
has never been dead, Oaf.
Okay, first off, rude. His name is Lancelot or Lance. If you're trying to be nice, that Oaf is
I've-
not an appropriate nickname.
I have known his name since before he could speak it himself.
No business.
And you're slowly losing the privilege to be able to speak it at all. So, like, let's chill out, okay?
He just sighs and rubs his temple. In order to reform your soul, you will need to put the majority of your essence into the altar, saving back just enough as you need to control the components of the spell. Then, you must find an unbinding spell, and you must use it to free the portion of your soul that has been sealed away with Oberon to regrow itself. Now, in doing so, you will let go of the part he has taken as it currently is, but once it depletes, it will regrow with you and not with him.
Okay. That sounds like a good idea.
Sounds like something we can handle on our own.
Unfortunately, I have no longer. I must rest.
Oh.
I trust that you can
Sadness.
complete this paltry task on your own.
One last question before you go.
Anything for you, Merlin.
Where is your body?
Where's your fucking body?
I think it works. I think it works.
Your fucking body.
Gangster.
You better get bodied. That's why.
Gangsta right now.
We
He's
honestly
like, I know you're an immortal demon magician, but like, that doesn't mean you can be rude.
Where you keep the solids at, man?
Keep the solids.
He looks
What do you
you
think it
in the
squishes?
eyes and he says, "If you found If you found Oberon, then surely you found my body. You must have held it as he was bound to it for all time. And as he says that, he fades away.
Kinky. Percy, I just text Percy and I said, bro, you pulled a demon out of your tits that one time.
Wait, Merlin is Sai. Got it. Morgana has Merlin. Morgana is a Merlin.
It's not Morgana, it's Morrigan.
Morrigan.
It's the sun.
It's the
great.
Morrigan.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Morrigan Le Fay.
Yeah.
Le Fay.
That's right. No, that's right. That's Mordred. I keep forgetting.
Both Elijah.
Yeah. I feel like someday that's gonna be a problem.
I mean, technically it's a problem today.
You guys are left alone. You can do whatever you want.
Wow, that guy's like a grade A asshole, Lance.
I was really
Open the
hoping
door.
that he'd be better. I would like to. Part of me thinks that he is taunting my oafness and wanting me to open the door. I think we should hold off before we know more.
Yeah, I'm starting to think the American dream is not behind that door.
Probably not, whatever that is. I will bring you now to an old friend of mine who helped me in much harsher times. Well, I don't want to invalidate any of your harsh times. Similar harsh times.
So, to be fair, Lance, I don't think that this Merlin is trying to do me dirty right now. He's trying to, I've dealt with a lot of manipulators. I've dated a couple. So basically how it works is at the beginning of the relationship, they love bomb you with like lots of nice things and good things. So he's probably trying to give me a gift by and get me to trust him and ingratiate me into his little magic cult by doing this. So I think this is actually a safe bet to actually work. I think we just have to be careful of future gifts from Merlin.
He can probably hear you. Oh, see.
Probably.
It's your judgment.
He's the one who wanted me to be cunning.
Very well. Shall we?
Let's do this thing.
Meanwhile,
We do the
outside,
thing.
Percy, you arrive just in time for Arthur to have finished pinning up the bird and preparing it to be accessed.
Yeah, you want those rolls now?
Yeah, go ahead. Also, are you gonna take Percy with you? Or are you just gonna vibe?
Percy with me where?
As you go into VR and interact with the bird.
There's no absolute way I can help with this. So Percy
a
can just
good
do
question.
her own thing.
Okay.
It's okay if you want to do your own thing, Arthur.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. It depends on what I find. Usually, I don't expect any defenses in the bird itself. But actually, hold on. This bird will have to send the data somewhere.
I thought you said there was a Faraday cage.
Right, so it can't. But if this base has the ability to communicate with the outside world, but if I disguised the signal to see if it was coming from somewhere else, and I had allowed it to phone home, then we would know who it was supposed to tell this information to.
Right.
Be very dangerous though. If they discovered that it wasn't transmitting right, they'd know the birds itself were compromised.
Right. Do you think I don't think it's worth risking it at this stage. I feel like we want to find out a little bit more information about them before we do that, right?
if the opportunity presents itself, I might not get a second chance, but I'll try and... Do you still have the console that allows you to shoot in cyberspace? The headgear that we used at one time against Egg?
Oh, did I bring my Data 3 console with me? I think I did. When we vacated my apartment, I brought the Data 3 console with me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have it in the warehouse right now.
Actually, you've already unloaded it into the gaming area, I think.
Oh, right. It's in the gaming area. Why? Do you want me to shoot some birds in the VR?
Maybe. That might be a thing to be ready for. I'll try and be safe for now if you're gonna be doing something else. But
okay. I mean, I'll be within shouting distance if you want to just DM me on the comms.
If
I was just gonna go.
If I send you apples, you'll note that hop it on the console, and I can probably pull you in from there.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be on standby.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So,
you
thank
stay
you.
Safe over there.
Yeah, it just shouldn't be dangerous. Not unless I make it so, which I might, but I won't.
Okay. I'm gonna go grab a drink.
Yeah. Maybe the other boxes, if there's something in there that you were bringing. You just you gestured to all the boxes you just brought out in the room and barrels and stuff.
I'm not going to be able to glean any more information than you would from these. I don't have much experience with that kind of stuff.
Well, we could do that first before I go and look at the bird.
Okay, I can help you with this before you go and do that. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll open up the barrels and boxes and stuff and take inventory.
Cool. Yeah. So basically, roll me your bio med.
You mean my 12 dice?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, finally. 5.
Hell yeah. So the liquid is basically a lot of proteins and other things in a sort of soup that you are pretty easily able to figure out is basically the base component you need to 3D print meat. They could use this to make almost any sort of muscles, organs, whatever they're looking for, except bone, essentially. Which would require a few extra ingredients that they'd have to have access to. But this is literally, it's for artificially creating bio stuff.
So this
It's
isn't
just
the blue...
ingredients.
So this isn't the, stuff you put in brain to make a skill soft?
This is not the blue liquid.
That's not what this is, no.
Oh, okay. I've seen this before. We used to hook up when someone lose an ear or something, sometimes, or get scarred. We also occasionally made. You know what? I'm not gonna say what I've used to make with this before, but it's quite capable.
Do you think this has to do with the homunculi downstairs that Egg was making?
Well, if you were gonna make something similar to a clone or a person, you could get most of it. It's very realistic to the touch, actually, if you've ever made something out of this. So, you could tell he's, less green. There's a little bit of, pinkish. But anyways, there's this, I've worked with it before. And you can make most of a person. The bones, you need a lot of calcium, and it has to get quite hard. And some of the fine tissues and neural tissues, sometimes you have to add a little bit,
right,
to get it to grow properly. But if you put this in a gel structure, and then print it and allow it to grow and connect, and then add it the nutrients it needs periodically. You can make pretty
So-
much any living thing.
Exactly like what was downstairs.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to make something that doesn't exist normally, and you couldn't harvest from something, then this would probably be the best way to do it.
What's in the computer part box? Or what's in the box?
In the
Yeah,
computer
what's in the box?
You find lots and lots of pretty high-grade computer systems. Go ahead and you're gonna take as much time as you need to really look through this shit. So as you're taking it apart, you find lots and lots of very high-grade computer systems. Lots of them look like, you know, some are designed for AI, some are really nice sensor sets, different things like that. Yeah, I think that's it's just nice computer parts. Nothing particularly pointing you in any one direction.
Okay. Well,
Do they seem random?
For the most part, yeah.
I'd like to take out any like rubberized components, like a couple of them,
Okay.
for me to use for
Okay.
building drones.
Cool.
oh,
I would say these are probably like rating 4 and 5 mostly.
ow. Well, don't take too much, I'm sure.
I only take like a couple things out of. If the box looks like random crap, not like organized.
It's
I'd take
very
just, like, a couple
organized. It's
things.
just random crap. Like it's not
Oh, well, then I wouldn't take anything.
a single set of stuff.
If it's organized,
yeah,
I wouldn't take anything.
Okay.
it's organized.
Well-
It's just like not 7,000 of one thing. It's like 2 or 3 of a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah, no, I won't take anything.
Interesting. There's probably a catalog for this somewhere. Well, you've got your work cut out for you.
Well, I don't know what to do with these parts. This is just hardware. I can't even. Is this clear? Is it seem like this is enough to make like build a custom piece of equipment, or is it just like a bunch of miscellaneous replacement parts?
Not enough to build something entirely, maybe, but you would assume that with this many pieces all together, it's probably going to somewhere where somebody's trying to prototype and build something.
Whoever's designing this is just a custom order to build like a computer or some sort of robotic device. So they'll probably have specifically needed everything in here.
Oh, Penumbra.
Yeah, this seems like something some guy, probably R&D guy, ordered to put something together. And based on the fact there are duplicates of most things, he probably wasn't sure it was going to work the first time, or needed
That
multiple things to run trials on. I don't know what to do with this really. I can't tell what it's for.
Just focus on the bird, I guess. I just had a thought of something I could probably do while you take care of that.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I'm gonna go talk to that AI, Wembley, because we got a message from that Penumbra bitch with the knives.
Oh, okay, sure.
So
Yeah,
maybe,
sure.
maybe whatever she was asking Egg about could help bring some light to what's going on here.
Yeah. So, blue liquid for printing, but this wasn't meant for us. It was going to Sprashka or somewhere else. Penumbra, maybe? I don't know.
So Paul said that this shipment was going to Penumbra.
Yeah. So I guess
So-
it could have been coming here eventually.
Maybe.
That would be funny.
So
I like
maybe-
this blue liquid. I hate to give it up, but
The blue liquid's not that's different than the rough liquid, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
you know you can synthesize almost any human part from that. I don't know if I.
Disturbing.
It could
We
be
don't
fun.
know what the blue shit does though, do we?
Yeah, that's the blue stuff.
No.
No, the blue stuff's different.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. This
There's
liquid
two
is not
liquids.
even blue. It's like yellowish green.
Okay, so yellowish green. Cool.
Yeah.
The blue liquid's different. And
So
that's
Arthur-
the stuff that Schmarmy had.
Pulls his hand, which has been like poking the liquid gently with like weird interest, and like takes it out, is like, okay, and seals the yellow green liquid up. The blue, I think this is there blue liquid? So the blue liquid, you probably need to see my chemist friend, because I'm really good with the biotech, but this is specifically some sort of, I think it's a brain interface solution, maybe? It's very salty, very saline heavy, which makes sense for brain neural stuff.
Okay, well, we can put that on the to-do list for later.
Yeah.
You go.
Yeah, there's just the electronic parts. So most of these crits aren't particularly interesting. I wish I could have these bits, but we need to turn them over, I guess.
Okay. Are you all set? I'm gonna go do other things.
Yeah,
Good?
yeah.
Okay, you let me know if you need backup, I guess.
Sure.
Cool. I'm just gonna go grab a drink at the bar and pour through those voicemails.
Cool. Steve, I'd like to siphon some of the yellow-green liquid after Percy's gone.
How much are you taking?
Enough to make something about this big.
Okay. It's like
Yum.
a couple of liters.
Yeah, like a liter or two. And a little, skimmed off a little bit of each barrel, hopefully to not make it obvious.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So you wind up taking
Yeah.
about 2 liters of the liquid in total.
Can you form this into something, then break it back down? Or is it like one-time use? It's probably one time.
Pretty much one-time use.
Cool. Alright. That's fine.
Cool. Yeah.
We're gonna,
okay.
we're gonna forget about this liquid.
So you're gonna put
I have it
into
in
the
my
bird?
notes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I will go into the bird. Alright. And I send in Stealth Boy ahead of me to like lead the way so I can be quiet.
Oh god. Warp
enter-
speed!
Into the matrix space on board of the bird.
Jesus.
Terrifying.
And as you enter in, it's a sort of an odd, fuzzy outside to the space. And it also feels very cramped, as though there's not, like they've very much made a very small space here. And where you normally see like the sort of crisp lines falling off into blackness of the matrix space, you instead just have this sort of fuzzy end to everything. But you find yourself on a small paved street. On either side of the street appears to be just reddish sand, like what you've seen in the Utah desert. The road continues on about 30 or 40 feet to a small parking lot next to what appears to be a diner. And the diner, just in a big neon sign on the front, says Bird's Eye.
It says Bird's Eye.
Mm-hmm.
I like, reach over and like pull in as the recep and be like, why would anyone design the place like this? This is
The neon sign sort of zzz
Weird.
and flickers.
right. and I'm gonna like take the cuttlefish and sort of form it into a dog, like a fairly biggish dog with a leash. And then like I'll take myself and put on like jogger clothes. I'll be like, yeah, this will be good. And now I'm gonna make like an AI and path my way to the building.
Cool. Yeah, so moving in sort of straight, distinct lines, you make your way to the front entrance, where there's just a simple glass push door, and when you look through, the inside looks like a very old, crummy diner. Like a diner out in the middle of the desert. But you push on the door, and initially it just... and like you see an access request pop up. An access request tag.
I'm gonna send a copy of like what I'm seeing. I'm gonna like bunch that up into a file from like what I'm seeing and send that to package to send to Mordred later. And then I'm gonna sort of, and it's just gonna have a note of like, this is a small functional device. Who creates an entire landscape to like walk around in? I was like, this is just... So now that I've kind of gone to the door, I'm gonna be like, oh, I am confused AI, and like kind of walk like like through the doors if it was open, or try and walk through the doors if it was open. And when I assume that fails, I'll walk off. And when I get near the edge of the static, I'm gonna try and like hunch down and try and like disappear a little bit and like run silently.
Okay, yeah, you can absolutely do that.
And I'm gonna try and approach the back of this building and like peek through the windows.
I mean, walking all around the building from the outside, it just looks like a diner. There's only one set of doors in, and it's that front door requesting the access credentials.
Okay. So where would be the like eye sockets or the video graphic processing on this bird? Something connected to the hardware.
I mean, you're innately linked to the hardware wherever you are.
Exactly. So what goes in and out of this building other than this door that I can't get in?
What goes in and out of this building? I mean, nothing. Right now, there's just this sort of desert landscape around you. Empty parking lot, tumbleweeds blow by occasionally, flickering
So it seems
sign.
like the whole bird is inside this diner. Like all of the...
Yeah.
Everything connected to hardware.
Yeah.
Cool. Then I'm gonna look around and realize that there aren't any cops to call. And I'm gonna kick the door. Just like
Okay, cool.
lean back, foot to frame.
What does that look like in terms of a cyber sense?
So
Are
I'm
you just
going
gonna do
to
a brute force attack on the host?
Yeah.
'Cause what you've encountered is a tiny little host inside the bird.
Yeah, it's just a brute force attack.
Cool, roll it. At the same time, Percy, what are you doing?
I'm going to the bar. I'm
Cool.
going to summon the AI Wembley and have her read me those voicemails that we got while I kick back a drink, since Lance is not here to imbibe. And I
Cool.
cannot be a bad influence.
Fine.
Hi there. I can grab those voicemails for you shortly. Give me one moment.
Thanks, Wembley.
Who would you like to hear from first?
It was Shay, Siberia. Oh god, I have it written down. Oh boy. God, there were so many. It was so long ago. Fuck. That was before a gift from the spirit. Oh, okay. So we have it from the Lady Shahid, Shay, Ziberia, Big Sol, Willington, some legal practice, City of New Seattle, Elgar Maddox, Gwen Poovy, and the representative. We already looked at the Gwen ones, and then something from the Athabascan Embassy. So let's do. I want to see what Willie had to say first, because I've been talking with Willie, so I'm curious what Willie's been saying to this boy.
Understood. I'll access those files now.
Thank you.
Merlin and Lance, where are you going?
Well, I guess it's time to stick our hands on the altar of doom.
Time
and
for
see
me
what
to
happens.
plunge a dagger into Merlin's chest.
Thanks, Lance. Thanks.
So wait, are you guys doing
All
Altar of Doom,
just
or are
out.
you going across the hallway? Which one is happening?
Altar of Doom.
Okay, cool,
Altar of doom.
vibes. So yeah,
Merlin
you
just steals the rest of your essence.
It's
you
fine.
place your hands
Time to
on
make a
the
new
altar,
character.
and you immediately feel again that pulling feeling as you just see the pink liquid start pouring out of the small spout and into the crystal bowl below.
All right, so I'm supposed to let most of it pour out, but not all of it. So I wait until
Give me an Arcana
We
check.
got- a good amount of Merlin juice going, I guess. Let's see.
The forbidden
Alright.
slushy.
How much
That's what you were
juice
making.
is
Forbidden
enough orange juice?
slushy. Okay, let's go. Okay. That is 2 successes.
Oh, that's so much better.
Righteously so.
Righteous.
Righteous!
Let's see. Yes. So, so how many successes? How many successes?
2.
Yeah, so you successfully save a little bit of your astral essence back. Most of your astral essence pools into this pink bowl, and you actually see this sort of like wireframe version of your astral form sort of floating above the pool. Almost like an odd reflection up from the pool. But you can also clearly see that there's like this big faded portion of it. Most of the like sort of shoulder and part of the neck.
Bro, he just fucking vamped me. Rude bitch. Alright, so the next step he said was what did he say? He said I needed to unbind the demon from my soul. Sounds like a plan. Lance, do you know any unbinding spells?
Specifically, he said you had to unbind all of your essence, like all of yourself. So that'd be
Yeah.
both the part in front of you and the part that Oberon has. Which, I mean, I do see. Never mind, carry on. I'd just like to say I've seen a flaw.
I am limited in my binding and spell casting process. Hence, kind of why I had suggested my friend across the way.
Oh,
Though,
your friend
we-
across the way? Who is your friend across the way?
Oh, well, I have not introduced her to all of you. Kotitaz is a well-to-do friend of mine who is right in that. Remember the field that we went into, in the small shack that we saw?
She's in the warehouse?
I guess in the warehouse. If the warehouse, she's outside of wherever that door leads to. It leads to an old riverbed, and on the other side of the riverbed is an old shack, and that's where she lives.
Would you say that she's just beyond the riverbed?
Yes, I'm sure.
I mean, I
do
suppose
not
we could
know
look once
riverbed.
more just beyond the riverbed. You know what?
Sure.
I've suddenly realized that I
Like
don't
you
actually
reciprocate.
know any unbinding spells, so we might have put the cart before the horse here. Just a little bit.
Finally, yes, I understand that. Yes.
Yes, so cart before horse.
Right.
Hold on. I go and I grab my Astral Essence and I just go, what?
As soon as you touch
Glug,
it,
glug,
it
glug,
sort of
glug, glug, glug.
whoops back into you again.
I look
All
for
right.
my astral form, or I look into astral. Is it still like kind of like good, but like little Edward Elric?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
All right, so we need to go talk to your old lady friend to go learn how to do some unbinding spells.
Right. Yes. It might be one of her daughters, though. Regardless, I do have a long-standing relationship with them.
Oh, okay. Well, lead the way, I guess.
Sure. Yes.
And as we're walking, I just like start musing and I go, I wonder what part of his body makes up the handle of the site.
Kay wanted to unbind that.
Yeah, that would have been a terrible idea.
Would have been very bad.
That would have been a terrible idea.
Don't like it.
Well, okay, cool. So
water
as you get the first
into
message-
trough, open
Yeah.
door.
As you guys are on your way over, you get your first message, Percy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just beep. Well, you haven't responded to me in a few days, so I figured I'd give you a call and find out what's going on over here. I'm a bit worried about my most recent shipment of items, as I have, as you know, customers who I need to get on their way, and they're going to need some more of the assets which we usually acquire from you to do it. So get back to me sometime soon. I know that things are a bit dangerous in this line of work, and but if you don't get back to me, I'll be likely to come looking for you. So there you go.
Is that Shay?
No, it's Willie.
Oh, Willie.
Second message. Hey, well, it's Willie again. I'm hoping that I'm talking to Percy right now.
Oh shit.
After you stopped by the other day and you mentioned your business with Egg, I sort of put 2 and 2 together and figured that since nobody's picking up, this is probably the right place to call. If not, you can just disregard everything that I'm saying here, but if it is Percy, you can give me a call anytime at this number. It's the right place to look. I am wondering about those jobs. It's been a minute. Anyways,
I thought I checked back in with that.
good talk. See you later.
Oh god. Fine. I'll send him a message real quick.
When was that message delivered?
Oh yeah, when was that message delivered?
That was
2
like
weeks ago.
no, that was like yesterday.
You're fine.
Okay.
You're fine.
I'll message him back. Be like, whoop. Hey, Willie. Got your voicemail. Funny story. About that. Anyway, did all those jobs. Well, the second batch of jobs still need to circle up about the original set, but things are going well. Hope everything's cool with you.
You ever have that one NPC that gives you a side quest right near the beginning of the game,
And
then
you
like
forget
near the
about it?
end, you're like, oh yeah, you like
Yeah.
find that objective along the main story.
Yeah.
40 hours in, you're like, ah.
Willie sends you back a message almost instantly that just says, "Are you living at the base?" All caps.
I can neither confirm or deny your suspicions, because that would be untoward for me to do so.
There's spooky shit in the basement. 3 exclamation points.
Yeah, I know.
And he sends you like a gif of the swamp thing.
Yeah, we know. We just haven't gone and I mean, I don't know. Sure, I'll keep that in mind if we were actually in said base, which I'm not confirming that we are.
He sent you basically worried faces.
I'll just send him the gif that says "Worry about yourself."
What about yourself?
He sends you back just "see you soon," finger guns, and a coffee emoji.
100%, and I'll send him a cat emoji.
Cool.
Precious.
Okay.
Did you have any other?
Yeah, no. I'm done with Willie. I want to know
This guy.
I'm done with this guy. I want to know what Shay wants because reasons.
Cool.
Shell willingly subjecting herself to the Shay voice.
I know. I didn't think about it.
Accessing message from Shay.
Hello. This is the offices of Seamus and Co. Esquire with the Penumbra Corporation. I'm calling on behalf of Shay himself, seeing as you have not responded to prior inquiries from Zabiria. We're just looking to see what's going on with that. I am to inform you from Shay himself that he is displeased with the type of response that he's getting, and he is concerned with what action may need to be taken to rectify the state of the supply chain and relationship if you do not respond post haste. So, please get back to me quickly. I don't want to have to talk to him again. If you haven't talked to me before then, would be great. Call me back. You owe us. Bye.
Unless it's a bad.
Nice. Is that all?
Mm-hmm. That's the whole message from Shay's office.
Whew. Okay. Nothing from the big man himself. That's fine. Cool. What did Siberia say then, I guess?
This is Siberia. I'm waiting for a response from you. We haven't received our most recent shipment. Also, we've finished our part of the bargain, and we are ready to send 3 new batches to you, but you have not given us a drop-off location. So yeah, that's just kind of piling up, and we're ready whenever you are. Let me know. Yeah, trying to keep things friendly here. Not used to people keeping me waiting. I assume something terrible has happened to you and that you will be very apologetic when we next chat. So let me know, because I don't want to have to talk to the big man about any of this. I'm sure that is just some sort of minor hiccup. Anyways, waiting for that drop-off location, and we're going to need more from you soon. So get back to me. Beep.
Cool. Nothing else from her?
Who was that from? Siberia?
Siberia.
Blender bitch? Got
Yeah.
it.
There are 3 more.
Okay.
No, there are 5 more messages from her.
Oh god. Summary?
Second message. Hey, you still haven't gotten back to me. This is starting to get egregious. I'm starting to get kind of ticked off here. Where the fuck are you, Egg? Third message, you owe us for what we've given you. You have to provide your end of the deal. I'm going to be filing paperwork this afternoon. Consider the value of your business relations with Penumbra.
Okay, wait, sorry. You owe us for what we've given you.
I thought this whole time these were messages to Percy for some reason.
No.
I was like, what is it?
So
This
wait,
is stuff
you
that
owe
was
us for
left
what?
on the base message machine.
Wait, so you owe us for what we've given you. What else?
We need your part of the deal. Consider the value of your business relationship with Penumbra. I'm going to have to file some paperwork for the delay.
Oh god. Okay. What else?
You better be dead. Going to talk to the boss today.
Oh god.
Good news.
Good news.
Pretty much.
Okay.
This is no
Next time
longer
we
my
need to all wear
problem.
beanies.
This is no longer my problem. I'll be looking into alternative sources. But you should be getting a call from the head office today.
Oh god.
Well, when was that?
I'm assuming that's the same day I received a message from Shay.
It is.
Whoa.
Alright.
Wait.
Cool. Is that all from Siberia?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Last one for now. Since I don't want to keep up all this, but what's the Lady Shahid got to say?
It's an invitation to join her on her yacht tomorrow. To discuss
Tomorrow?
Further business negotiations. Yes.
February 22nd?
Yes.
Wasn't that yacht on fire last time we saw it?
And it goes on to remark that she thinks he did an excellent job in the armaments that he provided for her organization recently, that she may be needing more in the future, and that she thought that the yacht party was a great success, and she would love to have him at the next one.
Okay, hold on. Remarks that he did an excellent job of the armaments that he provided to her organization.
Mm-hmm.
Thinks that he did a great job with the last yacht party.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
No. She thinks that she thinks that she may need many more armaments here in the future for things she's planning.
Wait, okay, hold on.
And she thinks that the yacht party went splendidly. And she wants to invite him
y'all's
to
yacht party not
one
go
in the
splendidly?
future.
Thinks that he did thinks that the yacht party thinks that the last yacht party went splendidly.
It was planned on her behalf.
Uh-huh.
Her and
I
Shane
feel
knew
like
it
there
was
were a
coming.
lot of
Wants
people who
to
would disagree
invite
with how
her-
that went.
Wants to invite him to the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
Holy shit.
Okay. All right. After that, fuck.
When's
She
the yacht
also
party
ends
happening?
with a short note saying, "We also need to discuss chivalry, and time is drawing short."
Okay.
I want to impersonate the egg.
And time is
Not
growing
now.
short.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fuck. Okay.
That's all you get for now. Arthur,
Yeah, I'm
How
gonna
old is that
run back.
message?
I'm gonna run back to Art. Yeah. How old is that message?
about a week.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if we can impersonate egg anymore. I think we kind of missed that boat.
Yeah.
Once we got like a real good story that we can back up with some proof.
Okay. I'm gonna take my drink to go then and double back to try and find Arthur.
Arthur,
Like, shit. I'll send him a message too.
Did you roll your brute force attack?
Yeah, what I'd like to do as well to aid it. So I did. I got 4.
Cool.
And when I'm doing this, I'd like to summon Lake
Okay.
as well, which is connected to this environment. So basically, I'm gonna kick the door open. I'll wait to see what happens when I kick the door open first.
Yeah. So you kick the door open. The inside looks. Well, you didn't give me a roll for kicking the door.
4.
4. Okay.
That was just me giving it a.
Oh yeah, no,
go.
you get in. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you kick the door, which like you kick it so hard the door actually like fizzles and disappears rather than opening. On the inside, it's still sort of the same vibe as the rest of the diner look, but the walls are just covered in TV screens, which are all currently just covered in static. You see a few tables scattered in papers with computers. That this looks like a space that a lot of people were sort of half living in to do programming of something. Like you're familiar with, this is a digital workshop essentially, where people were making shit, and it wasn't meant to look pretty. They were just doing shit, and they were spending so much time in here that they basically set up this little virtual environment to not go nuts. Just living in the Matrix while they did this.
Since I'm out west, I'll have my appearance to have now that I'm like inside, I'll change to like the long brown duster and like the cowboy hat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll summon Lake as like a sawed-off shotgun, right?
Cool.
With like a holster.
Absolutely. Yeah, Lake appears with this sort of greetings, Arthur, or you darn tootin'.
Thanks, Lake. Good to see you. And I'm gonna just like wave a hand through the face that I recognize too well, and be a shotgun.
Yeah, and it becomes a shotgun. Yeah, and it becomes a shotgun, which you suddenly have a holster for on your leg that you can just slide the sawed-off shotgun into.
So I do that. I kind of like spin around, slide it in.
As you step further into the bar, this little moat of a perfect triangular pyramid appears over the bar, which you immediately recognize as possibly the smallest, most bare bones AI you've ever seen.
Oh.
The little triangle appears and it says, "What'll I get ya?"
I'm going to try. So I like look around. So people were working here, right?
Yeah, very much so.
So while people were working here,
very much so.
Did any of them? It's weird that if there's so many of these devices, are there any like little notes left behind of people who are like setting this up or using this environment?
Yeah, there's papers and notes everywhere.
I'm going to sort of like look over sideways at it and see if it hangs waiting for an answer, or if it seems to be like reacting if I just don't say anything.
What can I get you there?
Okay, good. So I'm gonna
Welcome
search
to
the
bird's
room
eye.
now. I'm gonna search the room for something to give me a clue of how you're supposed to interact with this AI.
Cool, just give me a matrix perception. Also, you may notice a bunch of other things as you look around.
3.
Matrix perception. What?
3.
Cool. Merlin and Lance. You make your way through the door and back out into the open field. You again see the ravine and the trees. It's dark outside at this point, and one of the only things you see that does have light is a small sort of embering campfire next to the small hutch made out of what looks like trash bags and random pieces of cloth and scrap wood, with the hanging bones and whatnot out front across the other side of the ravine.
Charming. Is her house always this inviting, Lance?
Well, yes, it's her own personal style.
A strong choice. All right. Respect. Cool. Vibes. Is she home?
It would seem so. The fire's up, so I'm hoping.
All right. Well, you lead the way, champ, I guess. Blah. Is Lance leading the way?
Lance is leading the way.
Cool. Yeah. How are you gonna approach? How are you gonna do this?
Is there like a cliff or anything like that I have to traverse, or it's just like
so there's a ravine in the middle that you'd basically have to go down through with a little creek at the bottom of it. It's about 30 to 40 foot across and like 50 foot down.
Oh shit.
Lance is going to use Shape Earth and
fair.
Make it simple to do a couple of columns.
Okay.
To walk across instead of like a whole ass bridge or like a floating table.
You're not in a hurry, and it's like you're outside. There's earth. You can do that. It'll take you maybe 5 minutes or something to create a solid set of columns to walk across. But yeah, you're able to bring these columns up. Do they look like anything specific, or are they just sort of amorphous columns?
They look as they're circular columns. I'm trying not to, in case there is water that might come back through here again, or if the river. I don't want to like dam up the river with this.
Cool.
So
yeah. You step across to the other side along with Merlin, and you're standing in front of a small shack. On the outside, there are ropes covered in bones and bits of glass, little stones, bells in a few places that every time the breeze blows create this odd sort of cacophony of the clacking of one bone against another and the ringing of small bells.
I just kind of sit there and say, "Hello and Fuinguinaivranos," which is just Welsh for
Welsh? You're speaking motherfucking Welsh right now?
For hello there, my lady of the night.
Oh, spooky.
Upon saying that, there's a sort of rustling inside, and what emerges from the tent looks more like a pile of cloth initially than it does like a person. Just sort of one thing draped over another, deeply hooded. Except that you can tell there must be something under there, because there's a sort of a stick covered in bits of burl and knotted wood that is at the front, and wrapped around it are a very small and slender set of fingers that sort of seem to almost pull the rest of the mass outward from the tent. And you hear back, first in Welsh, the greeting, and then transitioning into English for the rest. And who is it that is calling upon the dark ladies of the night at this time of day? Who is it that would dare come this far out into the woods unannounced?
I present my forearms and fronts of my palms as I stand there and I say, an old friend and someone looking for some help.
The hand sort of stabs the little staff into the ground and lifts the front of the hood up slightly. Could it be? I had heard the tales when I was but a young hag, but I thought surely never that I would see with my own eyes could be some sort of trick. Are you Lancelot? The giant, first of his name, knight of the Round Table, the strongest of his kind, protector of yeomen, ally of the bewitched, the unblinking, the dragon slayer, gate wielder, the one of holy armament, the ever blocking. Is it you, Lancelot?
I think we need like 3 more names on there. Sorry. Quite enough.
The oral tradition, maybe.
The sort of the pile of rags shifts slightly, hearing your voice, Merlin,
Shimmies.
and sort of retreats slightly into the tent.
I'm Milady Sosin, and I do apologize. I could not help but bringing along some new friends of mine that I've found in this new generation.
Hi. Pleasure to meet you. Merlin. Just Merlin.
I hate to disappoint you, Lancelot, but it is not Sosin with whom you speak. Time has not been so kind to she as it appears to have been to you. Nor did I know her. But my hag's mother knew her. And so over time, we have kept this land in memory of your promise that we should always be safe here, and so it has passed down to me and my sister.
From this coven, I do swear to protect.
And you see this sort of shuddering under the rug. Oh. I'll be honest, it has always been strangely safe here, but I had never imagined that it was still protected. Though in some regard, strange though it may be, the barrier of ward that is made by this place being a home has never fallen in all these ages, and so it was told to me by my hag mother that you must still be out there, holding this place as your home, and so it had protection over it for us.
Looks back across the ravine. Well, yes, my home has since been fallen or buried or something of the sort. But regardless, the wards, I'm happy to hear that they still remain.
Well, wherever one truly makes a home, there they have power to protect it for those that they have sworn their allegiance to.
Might I make you some tea?
It has been so long, Lancelot. Let me make you some. And the rags sort of shuffle back into the tent for a moment.
I just like lean over to Lance and I'm like, do you think she has Darjeeling?
You know, I would bet that she has almost all types of tea. I'm not sure though.
A few moments later, she returns back. Yeah. Take and drink. And it's legitimately like a hollowed out stone in one hand, what appears to be like a knotted
Like a
piece of
cat
wood
skull.
with a hollow in it in the other, and the third one is like a skull of some sort of mammal.
Merlin takes the skull.
You proceed to take a sip, Merlin, of perhaps the bitterest, most herbal, earthy thing you've ever tasted
Nice.
in your entire life.
Nice. Love that for me.
Uh-huh.
It's
It's quite good. It'll help get your humors back in line, my boy.
Thank you. It has been sometimes since my humors have been realigned. I'm afraid that there's been lots of new developments with the friends I've made on the theory of humors.
Well, trades we must always make for long life. You know this.
Of course.
I mean, Lance, I always thought you had a great sense of humor.
Did you ever pull my blood?
What? No.
Regardless. Exsanguination aside, I need to ask a favor of my friend a Merlin here.
Well, the moon is high, Lancelot, and there's work to be done tonight. Small though our coven may have grown, few though still believe it, unwelcome as we ever are, there's still always work to be done. But a favor for Lancelot, of the lakes, of the trees, of the gates, of the dragon. And she goes through like the entire name again.
Nice.
A favor such as that could not be ignored, surely, after all these years.
And I shall have the work to be done. Though, as you might see from her second self, there are some parts that have been taken. We seek to replenish those pieces.
Bring me the child.
Gib.
Gib.
Excuse you. I am not a child. I am of legal age. Thank you.
This gnarled hand extends forth and hands the rest of the cup of tea to Lance.
Hold it. I just
The
gotta
other one
watch.
picks up the staff and uses the crook at the end to sort of latch around your shoulder, Merlin, and pull you closer.
Ah!
Oh God.
Okay. You know, this is
It's also
fine.
like pulling you down, because this lump of
with
cloth
all with the
is only
touching,
probably
okay.
like 3 feet tall-ish.
I just paid for this outfit. Ah!
Outfits are a thing of human desire. It is to focus on that is what that is without, and not that which is within. What we are here to discuss tonight, girl, is what is within. You are talented,
Just like kind of.
aren't you?
I kind of just look over at Lance. I'm like, did she just call me vain in old timey speak?
No. She just wants to, keep task.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yes, I mean, I have lots of talents. I can balance
These
really well.
This left hand reaches forward with these incredibly long nails, incredibly yellowed over time. Some of them chipped and broken. And the hand
I know
sort
a
of
great nail tech.
traces across your forehead and down the side of your face, just shaking a little bit as it does. And where it does, what's left behind is this ashy sort of trail across your skin.
Thanks for that. Okay, thank you.
You seem a talented sort. Were she younger, Lancelot, mayhaps she could have joined the coven. But alas, she is old.
She She is
past
old.
the time of transformation.
Ripeness is not within her lanes.
Damn. Missed out. Oh darn.
Tis a shame. Tis a shame. Wise you could have been, but yet even those who cannot walk the path of dusk, still they may become wise in their own right.
Yup.
Look at our young Lancelot here. Young though he may be, a unique vision of the world he has always had.
Bro, aren't
Seeing
you like
more.
800 years old?
It's higher up. It's got a bird's eye.
She has to finish the proverbs first before we can talk.
It's just like, I didn't realize she was prophesizing to me right now. Okay, sorry.
You've been bitten, my dear, by darkness.
Thank you.
And one with which I am familiar. Well,
Oh, you've
Not
met
I.
Obi.
not
Oh.
I,
Not you.
not my mother,
Oh.
not her mother,
Ooh.
but her mother.
Okay.
She had. This is a mighty favor indeed, Lancelot.
And a mighty price expected.
I do not wish to conflict with the Lord of the Astral. I do not wish to conflict with that demon of the Fae. There are no knights anymore.
Perhaps
In
is
place
there a
of
way?
castles, now there are giant shining pillars of sparkling stone and flattened crystal that harbor so many thousands upon thousands of citizens, and none of them, not a one, is in contact anymore with the land. None of them know the old ways. Magic is something else now.
If not to interpose, then perhaps a grafting. Surely the giant has plenty to offer.
You would sacrifice some of your astral essence for this one?
Hey, Lance. But, so... She just needs, like, some magic shit, right? What if, ma'am, would you say that you have Christmas spirit?
I'm sorry, what?
Would you say that you have,
Gift
the
miss.
Christmas spirit? I literally...
Lancelot,
How do
I
I-
do not understand what she is saying.
I think she's going
This
to
one
try to
speaks
explain.
in circles and riddles that I have yet to comprehend, though the modern...
So are you, I would like to, trade you. Or, so,
Trade is
either
always
A-
accepted by our coven.
perfect, cool.
Should it
So
be
I
fair?
need an unbinding spell so that I can, like, zhuzh up my magic shenanigans. If, I
Unbinding
gifted
is
you...
indeed what you need.
Yes. If I gifted you with the spirits of Yule, would that be proper payment?
Are you going
And-
to give her cocaine?
She literally, like,
Cocaine!
she sort of retracts slightly from you and then steps forward again. Have you taken the spirit of Yule?
It was given to me. It has to be a gift.
Rags go back into their shack. Come out with a very weird looking book that appears to be made out of like old ass paper and bits of leather. Thump through it for a minute. You have seen the Yule Father.
Yes, and he gifted me with some Yule magic. Would I be able to use said Yule magic to assist with this, either in providing components or payments? Either way.
Closes the book. The spirit of the tender is powerful indeed. And if you could learn to bend it to your will, then you could perhaps cast spells upon your own astral essence, reshaping it, using a separate astral form distinct from your own, that of the tender of the grove. As it had been said, I would have told you that someone would have to give something of themselves to lift the binding, but perhaps you can indeed do this. Come, show me. Have you learned to manipulate the spirit which has been given you?
Yeah, I'm gonna use my
Meanwhile-
Elsa powers.
Meanwhile, Percy, what are you doing?
Hell yeah.
Percy, with all this information in mind, is messaging Arthur and also rushing to Arthur's location.
Cool. Vibes. Arthur, what was your perception check?
3.
Cool. 3. Yeah.
My headphones cut out, so if you're saying anything, don't know what that is.
Hello. Are you
my
still
new
here?
pair,
I
as
will wait
some
until you
people like to
return.
wear, has broken.
Are you back yet?
They do not fit my head. Actually, they're
Waiting
fine.
for
They
you to
function.
return?
They don't fit me. I have a big head.
We'll continue to wait till you return.
I'll let you know.
this is why.
I can hear Arthur. No, he
I mean, I
can't
can
hear
hear
us.
him. We don't know if he can hear me.
Mm.
Just continue to wait for it.
Just gonna.
In the
continue
meantime,
to-
we'll just return to Verlin and Lance, I guess.
I'm back now.
Oh, there he
Oh,
is.
there you are.
What is it?
With a 3 perception check, there are 5 things that you notice. The first is that there is a logo embossed into the ceiling of this oh, he's frozen. Hello? You there?
There's a logo embossed into the ceiling.
There's a logo
Yeah.
embossed into the ceiling of the diner. And that logo
What is it?
you recognize as a pin that was being worn at the yacht party by at
God.
least 3 different individuals. It was worn by Zabiria. It was worn by Zariel. And it was worn by Shay.
I'll record the logo.
Are they in the cabal with Merlin?
You
The
also
rune.
see a large switch in the corner that just says stealth mode that can be like thrown, like a giant ass lever.
And below that, it says activate innate behaviors.
Oh, well.
You see
Bird
a
mode.
programming console that clearly is meant to be used by 4 or 5 people. Most of the notes are surrounded around that console. You see a small side room that looks like it's used for it's a standard, what you'd be familiar with. A lot of people separate a sort of communications room off of their main design area for having like meetings and talking to people and shit like that. And you also see a bunch of raw hardware input-output consoles.
Okay. So I don't see anything that tells me how to interact with the bartender successfully.
Not really, though. With the 3 perception, no, 3 perception isn't good enough. You'd have to do more searching to find.
All right.
Like any idea of like access credentials, but otherwise, no. It just seems like you just interact with them.
Oops. I want to best with the meeting room, although that's how I'm gonna follow them back to where I'm going. So, it's fuck.
You at the programming console can clearly see like a big file structure, with certain files that are absolutely massive, pre-prepared.
Yeah.
It looks as though this is meant to be recording information, but you'd have to look at the programming to figure out what types. Like what it's searching for and how.
Yeah, this is a I've just received a lot of information, processing, what I need to do if I can't get in to figure out how this thing was supposed to be used more normally. So these terminals,
all the consoles are available for you to use. Like you can just interact with them.
Cool. Then what I'm gonna do is just open up one of the consoles and see if there are any big video files anywhere.
Everything is currently essentially empty. It looks like this bird has been prepared but never powered on, except for like a few test cycles.
Great. Okay, so that's not going to help me much.
There is some test info, but you'd have to do some sort of a programming check to figure out what the program is meant to look for and do.
Cool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try, so I can tell right away that this bird was meant to act like a bird until such time as it's activated, and then it will function as a spy that's much less bird-like,
right now it's
but still
not
passable.
Right now the switch is in like regular mode, not
bird mode. It's in bird mode.
It's not in bird mode.
It's not in bird mode.
No, right now it's in like regular control mode, not bird mode, essentially.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna see what it's supposed to be looking for, because I assume it has an AI in it.
You're gonna have to make
I'll go talk to the AI.
Cool.
Yeah. So now that I know that the AI is supposed to be, its function is supposed to be helping it do its mission, not just interface with the crew, that tells me something. I will real quick check the meeting room and see if there's a way into that or if it requires more access.
You can just walk in.
Cool. Is there like a call up the office button or something that lets me just say, hey, this is who we're supposed to talk to?
What is this song right now?
Okay. While Steve's fixing that, I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna check to see from that programming structure And I'm gonna roll for software.
Test. Can you hear me again?
You sound
Yeah,
like a beep boop, but like voice mod.
Cool. Hi. You can just walk into that room. There's nothing stopping you. It's just like a separate area that can be essentially locked from the inside.
Cool. Yeah, so 3 on the programming check to check what that program was telling it to go and look for. And then I'll give it another matrix investigation of 2 to see if I can figure out what the who the room's supposed to call.
Cool. So the 3 is pretty decent, and you are really good at this. Did you add your lake dice to that?
No, I didn't add my lake dice.
You have lake with you.
How useful is lake in this scenario? Like 6 dice?
I believe 6 dice.
Because rating, probably. So that makes it for the programming or the matrix check? Matrix search. That brings it up to 2 plus whatever, so 5.
5 will do more. 3 would have just given you the sort of obvious shit. 5 is actually really good. Okay, so the first thing you realize is that the program appears to be designed to record behavior. Like literally create a profile on... It first attempts to build a model of like a person to be able to recognize them. And then shares that model across all the other bird drones so that it can recognize when it's looking at the same person. Then it's supposed to build a profile of that person, what they're like, how they make decisions, how they act, what kind of foods they enjoy, just everything in a massive sort of conglomerated profile for each person. And the other thing you realize is that this bird actually has an immense internal storage space, surprisingly. But almost all of it has been allocated, like hard allocated to this file for storing profile information.
Okay. Cool. So it's literally meant to identify certain targets through some sort of something. Got it. Okay, I know what it does.
It looks like it's not even certain targets. Like it's supposed to just go out, find people, and start building a profile for everyone it sees and communicate with the other birds.
Yeah, but why is the birds doing that instead of all the video cameras and normal streetwear stuff? Why birds to do this?
The other thing, as you dig deeper, is that they're on the lookout for specific items that they're trying to find. Some of the item descriptions are kind of loose, but you discover that there is a sensor on this thing that you hadn't even initially registered as a sensor, but that does have an input-output. And it's listed in the hardware as just Mana Shade Decipherer.
Oh god.
And it looks like there's like this weird color-based system that works with this input-output to record mana shades that it finds. Now it's completely unclear how that works. That's just like reading what the raw variables are called.
It reads astral?
There's some sort of a sensor on board that's supposed to be able to figure out what color something is astrally.
Oh god.
And it's very confusing because it's like an input-output system, but then that seems to be linked to the bird like some sort of bio part of the bird.
Okay.
It doesn't activate all the time, though. It activates when the algorithm's visual systems see something that matches a description of a bunch of different items, and there's like a long-ass list of these different items.
I've never seen tech that can measure mana.
No.
And even know that existed. That would have to be something done with a weird new form of... This is Arthur. A weird new form of technomancy, perhaps, or some sort of control that connects across. But that doesn't seem... Normally magic breaks technology. But, okay. Alright, this is big. Alright, so I understand by the birds now. I'm gonna try and identify where that hardware is on the bird. Like, maybe a way to find it, or like the specs on it.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too hard to find with your 5. It seems to be concentrated near the optical sensors in the head.
It's the third goddamn eye, Steve. Are you about to... Are you about to tell...
No comment.
Great. Okay, so...
However, it can be activated when it recognizes one of these things. You can go into the list of those things at some point if you want. But
I'll
it's
save
just a
that
very
for
long
now.
list of things it's visually looking for.
I'm gonna talk to someone who knows magic better than I do. And then I can maybe figure out how they're connected. Then I'll go check the meeting room out, and then I'll get out of here before I break anything else.
Cool.
Does it look like... I was looking for a core unit.
Like a processing unit or something?
I wanted to figure out how to take over the drone to make it work mine, so I'd have like control over it. I haven't found that yet.
You can do that from here.
Well, I would
like
need
this
to
console is
basically...
administrative access, essentially, for the most part, other than files that have been encrypted with a password or something.
So the AI has some control over this system, right?
You would see easily that there's an account on the host for the AI, which has admin privileges.
Right, so even if I change this now, the AI could set it back or do any kind of number of things.
Theoretically, if it was like told to or thought it needed to.
Okay, so now I'll go talk to the AI.
It's actually at about this exact time that you get a message from Percy being like, "Holy shit, Arthur!"
Oh, I'll be like, "Oh, hey, Percy. I just found what I think the birds are for. Don't know who they work for still, but I know why they've been deployed. They're looking for something magical, apparently.
Magical.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. Okay, the voicemails.
Yeah. What about them?
Shit ton of voicemails from a bunch of shady people,
I
Penumbra
remember.
and company included. Also, the Lady Shaheed, apparently totally in on the whole yacht party thing with the chivalry.
Yeah,
incident.
we had a suspicion.
Confirmed, and Egg was in on it.
Egg
somehow.
was in on it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
Okay.
mean, we can talk about the particulars of this later, but I just.
What's the problem? Other than Lady Shahid is working with the people at the yacht party.
Chivalry. Egg was invited
Chivalry?
to.
She was
Yeah.
working with chivalry?
Or they're acquainted, somehow aligned, or working with, orchestrating
Great.
something
Okay.
with
So
chivalry.
everyone's working together. I think they might be designing these. Well, if Lady Shahid is working with chivalry and Shay is with Penumbra, and these birds were headed for Penumbra possibly, then that puts a lot of things in the same bucket of people trying to search for something magical with these birds.
Wait,
so
what?
now we just need to know what they were looking for, and we might know what they wanted to do with us, perhaps.
It's searching for something magical?
Yeah, it's searching for something magical. It's going by color, of all
What's-
things.
Anything specific on the list?
I need to take this apart later, maybe with someone who knows magical mana
there
a
a-
bit better than
Is
me.
there a
I
scythe? Or a Tetsubo?
don't know. It's color. It's saying, hey,
Well, you
if
said
you
there
see
was a
someone,
list of items that it was cataloging, right?
yeah, but it's not super clear what the items are supposed to be, because
No,
they all
there's
have.
like the color sensor turns on when the visual sensors see something in the long list.
Yeah,
Okay,
and there was like
uh,
a list of items.
Can I
It's like
scan
visual
the list?
profiles of things.
Can I scan the list, or just like start flipping through? How big is this list?
Probably no, little less than 2,000 items.
There's like 2,000 visual unique 3D models and some like visual identification systems to
Some of them are
identify
kind of
all these
vague.
different items.
Some of them are really
And some of
specific.
them are like a bit vague. If I had to guess, I think they're probably looking for specific artifacts. It could be, and I like look through. Do any of them look like people or humanoids?
I mean, it's gonna take you some time to actually go through this and figure out what everything is, but yeah,
I
there
wanna
are
know if
3
this-
things that kind of look humanoid. Just on glancing across, like it's a list of, it's not pictures of shit. It's what you would feed to an AI to have it identify something visually.
Cool. So there's an AI in here, and I like look over it and wave at the guy.
It like
who's-
blinks happily.
So any changes that I made to fly the bird would, I don't know how that would go until I figure out what to do with this fella here. And that's also going to delay any home phoning calls.
Right. No,
But
I just
I'll
want to
bring
know.
the list.
Yeah, I just want to know if they're flagging any of the shit that we're carrying.
Well, here's what I could do. I've been recording a lot with Lake, and Gwen's been taking really good video. So I could try and set up a learning algorithm to like look at our stuff and see if it can build a visual profile on our stuff, and then run that through the database item and see if any of them are similar. That's a learning algorithm, which is definitely something that Lake could do. And if I let the analysis sprite, maybe Nemo as the courier, he's not doing anything. I could probably run that process for an evening. Yeah, and I could probably see if we're on the list.
Okay.
Yeah, so I could do that. I'm curious what they're looking for that requires this big of an investment just to find.
Does it have a list of the color profiles, or is it just vague information?
Meanwhile,
the colors
on the other
are
side of town-
attached.
Meanwhile, on the other side of town,
Mhm.
Merlin, the 2 wrinkledy hands sort of reach out and take yours. Show me.
Can I channel the spirit of Christmas, Steve?
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
How do I channel the spirit
Roll
of
forgiveness.
Christmas? Roll for
Oh yeah, that's
Christmas
right.
cheer?
Didn't I give you a way to roll that last time, or did I not?
I don't think you. I think you said it was different, but I don't think you told me how.
Oh, okay. Cool. Let me grab that for you. Take me just 1 second. Click.
Ye-
Click. 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 Bloop.
I thought it was raisin. It was a bug.
Ooh.
Cool.
Boil my hands now.
Gross.
Excellent.
I've added
So,
requests to Falcon,
roll
by the way, everyone.
your intuition and charisma.
Oh boy.
I call this the Christmas
Intuition.
spirit roll, where you try to intuitively and charismatically feel the spirit of Christmas.
All right.
Where are
That's
you?
I
Getting
want to
Decent.
workshop the name, but yeah, that sounds good.
Sorry, what?
So you might want to workshop that name, but
What?
that sounds good.
What they say?
You just said a long string of things
Oh.
and then finish it off as like the name.
Yeah.
Call this the intuition plus the charisma roll to be able to roll for the spirit of Christ.
Okay.
I was like, what?
Otherwise
Sure,
known
sure.
as
Letting
roll
it go.
for frost.
Let it go.
So it's only a glitch if it's more ones
Correct.
than plot. Okay, so we're good. We're good. I have 3 successes and 2 failures, but that
Oh, you're fine.
still means we're good to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gucci.
So the air becomes frigid cold around you as little icicles form across your shoulders and in your hair briefly. And the hag just sort of giggles with delight.
Creepy.
Well, I can see that you're new to... You have talent, but you haven't learned much about spell casting yet, have you, darling?
I mean, I'm self-taught, so ouch, but yes.
What a tragedy. Anyone in your position ought
Thanks.
to have a mentor.
Well, you see, my mentor is actually, well, I mean, I look at Lance, I'm like, I don't even know if you can really count him as a mentor, TBH.
Well,
She's
the best.
referring to Oberon.
this won't be easy, but I'm willing to attempt it. I will
Okay.
construct the spell and provide a small amount of my own magicka to hold its channels in place. We'll extract your spirit, and then you will use the Christmas spirit to power the spell. If all goes
Okay.
well, we'll break this rather nasty binding that's been put upon you.
Cool. So, what do I gotta do?
This will take some time. First, put on this, and she like goes back into the shack and comes out with like this ratty sack-looking robe covered in bones and like claws.
I'll go catch a fawn.
Cool.
Please do.
I'll be
I
back.
will
that.
take good care of your friend here. Come see us when the moon is high.
Oh God.
I'm just gonna go. Ling's down. I have to go get a sacrifice real quick. I'll be right back. What?
Don't leave me here with her. She's gonna eat me.
She'll be fine. Just
Lance.
don't eat the shrunken heads. They give you wild
What?
hallucinations.
Take this knife, darling. You'll need it in a minute.
What?
What type of blood do you have, dear?
Let's look up.
Over the course of the next hour.
Oh, Merlin, how the tables have turned. Someone exterminating you.
I love the anime zoom out. Like
Over the course of the next hour, this large circular sort of ritual is set up with you to one side. There's sort of like, it's a triangle shape with like the hag and you and an empty space, Merlin, with
Oh.
candles and bones laid out carefully,
Is that-
and your blood at the
Uh-huh.
center.
Oh.
And as Lance
Oh
arrives,
dear.
and as Lance arrives around midnight with the sacrifice, and brings it to the center, you see Lance has like decked himself out in a way you've never seen before. He's like drawn ash and symbols on his face with like dirt and ash from the campfire, and is like, he just knew what to do somehow.
What the actual fuck, you guys?
Cult shit.
And
Promise this is much safer than whatever was going to go on at Stuffy Library.
as he takes the sacrifice and lays it in the third spot, drizzling the blood around,
What?
you all see
No,
some.
Michelle, you don't just say have flashbacks to ministry school
What?
while we're literally
Flashbacks,
sacrificing something. Are you fucking shitting me right now?
Kidding.
Wait, I need to clip that. Hold on. How do I clip it?
I'm just joking. It wasn't my ear.
It was Michael.
So, she begins this low chant as you see Lance just sort of pop back out of the circle to not be involved, as suddenly from you all of that pink just flows down off of you and across, coalescing into your vivid astral form, sparkling in pink light over top of where the sacrifice is.
Marla gonna talk to herself.
And you at the same time feeling not quite like yourself. See, you're just glowing with this golden glow, as all that remains within you is the Christmas spirit, taking up its full form in and around you as the icicles grow long and tall. And she says, "All right, I'm holding the other spirit in check so that it does not overcome you while you are away. The spell has been prepared. You may now complete it." And Merlin, you look over and hear your own voice talking back to you. It just says, "Oh, hi, me."
Hi.
And that's where we'll end for tonight.
Oh my god.
Yo!